So then I said, so then, oh, hey guys, what's up? How's it going? Who's
Hello,
here?
everybody.
Oh, we got a whole one. What's up, Erica? How you doing? Uh, this was just last minute, so I don't really care that there's only one person. I mean, we're gonna talk to you, and it's gonna be the Three Musketeers until somebody else shows up. What's up, Correction? How was your day, man? Corrections. You're Iron Man right now, dude.
Just a
What
second, can you
happened to
hear me?
Erica? Erica left. Now I can hear you. Oh, and there he goes. And then there was two. Oh boy, out there. I don't know. I didn't really kind anything. I just like I was just like, man, there's nothing going on. I did like Doc Danger's stream, but it's just I like music. I just don't. It's like too much music. Too much music. I need to listen to music on my own. I can't be thinking about chat and stuff like that. Do do do. We got. Well, is Erica here? Is Erica here? I don't know. I can't tell. I think this it says one. When I got in here, it said three. Now it says two, and then it said one. I don't know who decided. Two of the two people that decided to leave.
Yeah, I don't know. That was my mistake that time. I actually, because I'm on my phone tonight, so if I go away from the stream yard, like if I try to have it in my background, it crashes, and so I have to just keep StreamYard up. I can't go away from it, and I try to answer.
Dude, you're like all you're all Iron Man right now. I don't know what's happening.
I'm Iron Man again.
You, now you're back. Now you're back. Yeah, she went to the ER, but according to me, who I texted last about it, she said that she's just getting around the fluids and she's gonna be there until she's all done, and then she's gonna go home. But she doubts that she's gonna do anything for tonight. That's probably what prompted me to get the live going because I don't know. I really just wanted to hang out today. I really didn't have a purpose or anything. Just I was just like, man, you know what? I just want to hang out.
Yeah, I think Erica needs a wrench too.
Oh, she doesn't have one. I'll get you one. I'll get you one. It. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why, but like for some reason today, I just like I had a lot of energy early on. And I was like, man, I was excited. I actually wanted to get a live going early on, like a lot more than I did right now. But at the same time, it's like I also don't want to. For some, I don't want to watch TV.
Right?
I don't know what it
TV
is.
can be
It's
too
like
depressing sometimes.
yeah, it is. It's like I don't know. Man. You know what it is? I really wanted to stream with Reaper today. That's what it was. I really wanted to stream with Reaper today, but it just didn't happen.
Right.
Do, 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 do. Ba, 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 ba. So you got anything going on? No videos or anything.
Who me? No, I don't. I don't have my laptop. It's my dad's. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe I'm still having some internet issues. I don't know. It drives me nuts. That's the thing that sucks about living very rural is that I live in a town of 1,200 people, and so and internet goes down. It's not a huge priority, compared to.
And there you go. Oh, poor corrections. I wish I could help him out with that, but I have my own technical issues. Yeah, Erica, I do like watching old sitcoms and stuff like that. I just the thing is that sometimes like I'll tell you guys since we're only three people right here. Um, I I probably like I would say 4 or 5 years ago. No, 6 years ago. 6 years ago. I was just a very social creature. Like I really didn't hang out at my house. I was busy, busy, busy all the time. If I wasn't at work, I was in a restaurant. If I wasn't in the restaurant, I was in a bar. If I wasn't in a bar, I was, going out to some, like concert, doing something. Like I was just moving, 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 moving all the time. And all these things happened, and everything just came to a screeching halt. And a bunch of other personal things happened, and it was so it was just like I was moving fast, and just like everything just stopped. And so it's weird because I never stopped to really like oh, corrections. I never stopped really to think about it, and at some point, I don't know when it was, it hit me that I was like, I feel alone.
I said, fuck the Wi-Fi, and I just went to my mobile data. Hopefully it'll be better. I got to get MediaCom here on Monday to fix this shit.
Yeah, yeah. No, I was talking about how it's crazy how like 6 years ago, dude, it was like I didn't have time for YouTube or anything that was going on. It was like I was such a like put it this way, I was one of the creators, on YouTube, but in real life, like I had a bunch of people around me all the time, and it was like event after event after event. Things were happening all the time. Things were happening all the time, and it was just so much noise and so much things going on that I never really felt like things were quiet around me until everything just came to a halt. It just like stopped. It came to a screeching halt, and it's like, what happened? And I don't know. Ever since then, I think I've been chasing that. I've been chasing like the noise. I've been chasing like to have that feeling again that like things are happening around me. It's a crazy realization.
Right. Yeah, so I think Erica was saying she kind of wants to hear this story. So yeah, so one thing I didn't really talk about the last couple weeks is something I've been going through. So 2 weeks ago, I was in and out of the hospital with some major health issues for about 2 weeks, and finally got back to work and went to HR, and everything was cool. And then at the very end of that, our HR director there at the jail says, "Oh, by the way, one of my responsibilities is to investigate allegations of sexual harassment." And I said, "Are you shitting me?" She goes, "Nope, we got to take all claims seriously." And of course, I've never had any accusation like that with, in my 44 years of life on this earth. And anybody who knows me knows something like that would be complete bullshit. But anyway, so this last 2 weeks, leave is paid leave, luckily. They had a meeting with HR, and I was totally complete. I was totally, totally clear to the charges, and I will be back to full duty on Tuesday. So I just, it's been something I've been dealing with the last 2 weeks, and I just, for anybody out there who
Oh my
may go through
god.
false accusations, oh yeah, it's terrible because you never know what's going to happen. With this Me Too stuff, that lots of times it's if you're accused, you're automatically guilty and you're going to be fired. So luckily, agents care about it. They looked into everything and they gave what I said as much as what the person saw.
Wow, that was a mean robot that just happened right now. They like completely like it felt like there's a government conspiracy happening right now, and they don't want you to tell the truth, so they made you robot throughout that whole moment right there. I don't know what's going on
Uh,
today. You haven't roboted like this since the KFAR episode. Wait a minute.
hey, at my to get to it. Quite last night, I was like, well, just get out
I
until
don't. I don't understand anything that you're saying right now. Chat, do you guys understand what he's saying, or is it just on my side? No, and there he goes. this is this was the KFAR episode. This was the KFAR episode. Yeah, so do I. KFAR was one of the guys that in this community that I latched onto pretty quick because he reminds me a lot of my best friend, a guy who's a family guy who just, I mean, it's crazy because we did a lot of stuff together, and then all of a sudden one day he had kids, and it was like he was a dad, and it was like I was proud of him and everything. I'm still proud of him. I'm proud of the guy because he takes care of his family. He does a lot of good stuff, and he's just a family guy though, and I don't blame him for it. I mean, he has four very beautiful kids, and whenever I see him, I tell him, hey, you're doing a good job, and it's like, yeah, but it's crazy because we did everything together for like about what from I would say 20 years. I think it was like 20 years of friendship, and then it's like there goes my hero. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They're tyrants. Well, I mean, I might get him back soon. I mean, his oldest is about to hit 18. The one after her, I believe is 16, and then he has two more. Um, so maybe, like I said, maybe like another 6 years, he might be coming back to me. Come back to me. Oh yeah, he's a good guy. I mean, well, he had a really good family structure. His dad was a good dad. I mean, his dad was the type of dad that like would lecture you, but at the same time prank you. Uh, one of his famous ones was when he goaded us into eating like some tacos with nothing but chili. Like in Mexican houses, a lot of the time we have chili trees, right? And so we were having a barbecue, and his dad put a bunch of chilies into a tortilla, and he told us, "You guys wouldn't eat this." And we were like, "Well, no, of course we wouldn't. There's a bunch of chili in that in those tacos. We're not gonna eat that." He's like, "Ah, you guys are chicken. You guys wouldn't eat that." It's like, "Well, if you're telling us we're chicken, we're gonna eat it." And he's like, "Well, you guys are chicken. You guys wouldn't try it." So we both took bites out of this taco that was super hot and completely messed us up. Like we were like crying, and like we had it basically we hit ourselves with OC spray. And then after we were done, like going through our little drama of like getting the spice out, he tells us, he's all like, "Why didn't you listen to me?" We're like, "You're goading us, man." It's like you're telling us that we were chicken and everything. He's all like, "So what? You had to hurt yourself to prove that you weren't chicken." But what's funny is that I did understand that, even though like it's kind of weird and messed up, but it's like I understood that that's the kind of dad that man was. It's good stuff.
See,
Are
and
you
I
back?
swear, I swear my inner self is Mexican because I love, like, the hotter the food, the better. Like, I love it.
You like spice?
Oh yes, the more the better.
I actually I have a love hate relationship with spice now. When I was a kid, everything like, well, when I was a kid, it was torture because I couldn't enjoy anything because everybody had to put spice on everything. So it was like, oh man, like I want to have things that don't have spice. So as a kid, you would have hated me because I was a kid that would get the hamburger and throw all the stuff out and just have like the meat and the bread, or or like if they gave me like a burrito, I would open it up and I would piss everybody off because I would like take out all the onions and all the stuff, and I just like have it plain. But that was because my family were jerks, and they would throw all kinds of spice on the like the salads on the stuff. We had things like I know you've heard of it, like pico de gallo or like salsa and stuff like that. Just
Yep.
max heat on everything. It was max heat on everything. It's like, why do you guys want to destroy your mouths while we're having dinner? It's like, come on, guys, like let's enjoy the food. Don't you guys want to taste stuff? But I did not appreciate what the spice did to the food until I actually started like appreciating it. Like till I had that first taco that I could have where the spice wasn't killing me, but the taste was worth it. And after that, it was like, yeah, I get it. Okay, I get it. Now it's like I want it, but if I have it, I have the fire poops, and the fire poops are not fun. Those are not fun. I hate fire poops, man. Those are like, oh man. And I know exactly, like if I'm like, if I go like to an aunt's house or like somebody's house where I know they're having spicy food, I'm like, I'm gonna have the fire poops, but it's worth it. I'm gonna eat, remember? And then when I like 2 days later, I'll be like, my aunt's house, ah.
Long time ago, when I was in high school, one of the summers between my grades in high school, I actually worked on a hog farm, and a bunch of the employees there that I worked with were Hispanic migrant workers, and so I would sit with them because a lot of the white employees weren't very, they weren't mean to the Hispanic employees or anything, but they just didn't really socialize. And so I would sit with them at lunch, and they'd always bring in these peppers in these bags, and they would offer me peppers to eat, and I would eat them, and they were hot, but I would man up and take it. Well, one day they pulled a prank on me and gave me some ridiculously hot pepper. I don't know what it was, and they were laughing and laughing and laughing. And I tell you, the rest of that day, man, it was just fire shits all day, and I felt like there was a hole in my stomach, and I was sick for about 2 days. It was horrible.
God, is that okay? Okay, look, I have a thing about poop now. Who was it? Chelsea May, or who was it? Oh, Chris Jackson. I do actually know how spicy Thai food can be. Okay. I used to date this Cambodian girl who loved Thai food. Okay, she loved Thai food. So it was like it was horrible. And when you say fire shits, that's what I call the worst of the worst. That's when you have like runny, you know, runny discharge with fire on it. That's what I call fire shits. That's why what I called the stuff that was regular, I call it fire poops, because fire poops are just like, the regular stuff that comes out. When you got those like that discharge that's like violent with like heat, I call that fire shits. I actually
Oh,
distinguish the both of them because it's like,
oh,
yeah, dude. And I'll never forget this because I love curry chicken. Like I used to work at a casino that was like mainly full of Cambodians and Taiwan. Is it Taiwanese? Is that what you say? Is that what you say it? Taiwanese? Was it Taiwanese? Thailand people? Is Taiwanese? Am I tripping? Is it that?
I think
Precious,
so.
help me. Okay.
I,
Well, basically the mix was that crowd, and so okay, thank you, Chris Jackson. Basically that was the mix of the crowd, and so I I love getting curry chicken. Now the chef, when it was the regular American chef, when he made the Thai the curry chicken for the casino, it wouldn't be as spicy, so I liked it. But then when the Thai cook was in there, he upped it so bad that I wasn't ready for it. Like I had the American version almost like every single time until one day the Thai man made it and he brought it. I knew there was something up because like when when you get a whiff of like with something that's really spicy and you get that whiff of the food and your sinuses clear up and you feel like the heat already, you haven't even taken a bite. It was like I was all like, hey, I was all like, I think they put a little too much, chili in this, and but I didn't feel like I could really say anything because I was with my boss and my boss was paying for the lunch, so I was just like, I was like, you know what? Even if it's spicy, I could take it. I'll just go ahead and eat it or whatever. Like I'll just scarf it down. Like if I scarf it down fast enough, I won't feel the heat. That was the biggest mistake of my life. Like I wanted to stop eating, but I was like, if I do, I don't want my boss to feel offended. Like it was one of those things where it's like I don't want to offend my boss, but I don't. I want to stop eating this. And then like I got to the part where like I start getting some of the potato, and I'm so hot that I'm eating things in the soup to like coil the heat. So I'm like, damn, I'm munching on the potato, but I'm running out of potato. And I'm like, okay, what else can I munch on to like take away some of the heat? And I ended up like eating some of the chicken. But then by the time I got to like about midpoint of the curry chicken, my stomach started rumbling something awful, and I was like, I made a mistake. I remember after that lunch, the employee restroom. Dang, there were so many people who were upset with me that day. Top of your head. Oh no! Oh man, Outdoor Associates. It was raining. It was like I was like basically I was filling up like other bowls of sweat. Like that's how bad it was. I was like, what was I thinking? And then and let me just tell you guys, because the casino that I worked at that time was under construction. So all the customers got the restrooms that were completely like finished, right? So they had the air conditioning and everything. The employees had the restrooms that had no air conditioning. And I worked during the mid to swing shift, on days when I would be with my boss. That day was super hot. I remember I was inside the toilet, just sweating, 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 and all of this sweat was drenched all over my shirt. I went in with a light blue shirt. I came out with a black shirt. That's how much sweat I was pouring. I went I went to go change my shirt, because of course I can't be like that. I had to go change the shirt. Then I go to the uniform area to go change, and everybody's just looking at me like, "What did you do? Did you go run like? Did you like go run like a mile or something? What's going on with you? Like, what's wrong?"
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, that was my run into real curry chicken. That's what they told me. They're like, "You ate real curry chicken." I'm all like, "What? That you mean the other stuff wasn't real?" They're like, "No, that's the real stuff, man. That's how spicy it is. Like that's how they eat it. Real, really spicy like that." I'm all like, "Wow, I I'm never gonna question Thai people ever again."
Yeah, that's the thing about that sucks about living in the middle of nowhere is the lack of diversity of food. Yeah, yeah, I really miss living in a major metro area to have that diversity of different world cuisines. I guess you would say. I remember one time we lived in Texas for a long time, and down in San Antonio, right at the end of the river walk there's this there's this Mexican restaurant, and it's literally all the workers in there. It's like three or four generations of the same family, right? So you had the great grandparents and the grandparents, you had the parents, you had the kids, and it was the best damn Mexican I've ever had. And then everything after that, in my area, it's like this isn't Mexican. This is just a cheap knockoff. And so you have that really good stuff, and it's like, man, I miss that.
Oh yeah, you should have seen the face of confusion that I had when I went to and I'm not even talking about Taco Bell. I'm talking about, like, in school. When I was like a fifth grader, and they had Taco Tuesday or whatever, right? And so they brought out the hard shell with the beef, that oatmeal beef. I don't know. I don't know exactly, like, which it's ground beef, right? It would be considered ground beef. I don't know. The,
Yeah.
the thing is that the look of confusion that I had with my fellow ESL students, because we were just like, they're calling these tacos, like, what is this, like, what first of all, the tortilla should not be shaped as a tostada, which, if you know Mexican or Hispanic cuisine, a tostada would be a tortilla that's like, hard shell, like a hard shell taco, but it's not flipped into a taco. It's a flat surface, right? So when we saw this, we were like, this is what they think is a taco. Like, what the hell is this? And then they put the beef in a separate container. So we just were like, huh? Like, how does this work? Like, what do they want us to do with this? And so we put it into the taco shell, and we put what it supposedly was hot sauce, or what said the little package said hot sauce or whatever. And very disappointed. We were very angry that they.
Damn.
Yeah, that was. We were upset. We were all upset because we felt cheated. We really felt cheated, because um the whole group of kids. See, I actually was in a program called the ESL program. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. This is something that maybe if you were in a you know uh big major city, you probably would have had it. I don't know.
Yeah, English as a second language.
Yeah, and so they would teach us English and Spanish. So we learned English and Spanish in the same classroom. And so everybody there knew tacos as what they were. And so when they told us Taco Tuesday, we saw the schedule and it said Taco Tuesday, right? All of us were imagining our favorite tacos, as beef tacos, chicken tacos. There's pork tacos that we call carnitas, and then you have it's gonna sound weird, but there's tongue tacos, tacos de lengua. tacos de sesos, which is brain tacos. But these are all tacos that we're used to because this is the type of meat that we're used to eating, and so we're all like having a we're all, like saying which one's better and how we like them and stuff like that. We're just like we can't wait, and so when we get to the lunchtime, we're expecting like a variety of like and so when they give us the shell and this beef cup, we're looking at them like what what? And I swear that table of ESL kids was ready to protest.
That's funny.
we were, we were, no lie, we were ready to do it. We were ready to do it because we were like, these ain't tacos. And I'll never forget when I got home and I was just as outraged. Like we were outraged when we went back into class. Our teacher at the time was kind of sympathetic with the whole situation because he was like, "Oh, I understand. No, yeah, no, guys, that's what they call tacos. Like it's like kind of like Americanized, but and that's we kind of had an idea of what Americanized was because he kind of gave us a little bit of a rundown on how that works. And I remember I went home and I was telling my mom like, why would they call it tacos? Like, why don't they call it American tacos? Like, why would they call it tacos? Like, you're confusing us all. This is,
Oh
and
man.
yeah, this no, I'm not. This was exactly the conversation that we had, and my mom told me she was all like, yeah, like they're gonna mix it up. I remember my mom telling me like, when she makes because she used to work in a kitchen. It's crazy. My mom used to work in the kitchen, and my dad was a line cook. Um, my my mom used to tell me she's like yeah, I know when I make them their breakfast burritos and stuff like that. Sometimes I have to put like extra tomatoes and onions because these guys they just love it plain. Like if I just like make scrambled eggs and put it in like a piece of bread with like some ham and some cheese, they'll eat it up. But she's like, I want them to have some flavor, so she'll like put like diced onions and all kinds of stuff, and she does it to this day. My mom, she'll make the best breakfast in like 2 seconds. Like all she needs is some tomatoes, like she gets the most like basic things and she makes them like I don't know how, but she makes them really really flavorful. That's talent. Um,
What are those breakfast tacos called? Are they called chorizos?
oh yeah, chorizo, yeah. It's
Oh,
you like chorizo tacos or you like chorizo burritos?
yeah, yeah, the burritos. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh yeah. The burritos. Well, okay. A chorizo burrito will be a little bit more meatier than a chorizo taco, but a chorizo taco, the flavor in a chorizo taco is unbelievable, bro. If you can get somebody to make you a chorizo taco, um, you'll lose your mind, dude. You lose it. Me,
Well, and I
me.
think that and I may be thinking of tacos because I worked for a company down in Dallas to where the kitchen it was a Hispanic cuisine, and they would have these amazing chorizos, and I'm thinking they were probably tacos, if I remember right, and they were amazing. I mean, everybody in the entire building would just, I mean, it would be a huge ass line every single morning, and they were cheap.
Yeah. That meat is really cheap. It's like it is Mexican sausage. It would be considered like Mexican sausage. If you go look for it, you don't have to really call it chorizo. If you call it Mexican sausage, they know what you're talking about. But in the most technical term, it's called longaniza. If you went to Mexico and you were looking for it, you would call it longaniza. Um, and
So,
it's just
so chorizo isn't the actual taco; it's the actual meat. Then is that
the
what it
the,
is?
the the chorizo is the meat, but see, chorizo is actually what you call a sausage. It's like chorizo is sausage, but sausage, say like Polish sausage, is not exactly what the chorizo would be made of, right? So
Hmm.
chorizo is basically how you put that meat in there. So it's like the casing, so it's a sausage, right? But the inside
Hmm.
of it would be called the one that you would use for the breakfast would be called longaniza. That's the type of meat that you use for the regular breakfast burrito that you would understand to be the chorizo taco or the chorizo burrito. But there is different chorizos like Salvadorian chorizo, which is I don't know if you guys ever had it. It's very popular in barbecues. If you've ever been Mexican barbecues and stuff like that, it's like kind of bally. It's like a little like it comes in little balls, and it's really red, and it's usually they just grill it. It's really good. It's really flavorful. It's good. It's called you'll find it under the label Salvadorian chorizo. And then you've got other types of longanizas and other chorizos, but usually those are the ones that we stick to. The other ones are more, I guess you could say, like for specific things, but they're not. Usually they're not as popular as those two. Those two are the most like the mainstay. Yeah, it is.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. But it's good. I don't know. I've never had that. Like I like we my like I said, my dad was a line cook, and so he exposed us to a lot of different
Well,
cuisines. Go ahead.
wait a minute here. Just said clarification here out there, associates. Are we talking about pig parts? Are we talking like pig nuts?
I don't think it was that. I don't think it was
So now I'm starting to get a little weirded out. Like, what the fuck did I eat?
Hey man, don't worry about it. Hey, if it tasted good, and you were able to put it down, hey, it's all good, dude. It's all. I like when the day I realized that I was eating pig guts in a taco is the day I said I will never question what I'm having to eat. Pig parts.
Oh,
Hey, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. As long as it tastes good. As long as it tastes good, we're good.
yes, Chris Jackson, the ham is a big part. I love me some ham. Love me some ham.
Yep, that's right, Chris. That's right, Chris. I'm guessing Chris is like have you have like some sort of experience in like butchery? In butchery.
Wait, what? All sausage casing is intestine?
Yeah, you didn't know
That's true.
that? Oh, okay. I'm glad you were just gonna have an existential crisis right now on all of
I'm learning lessons here that I may not want to know.
like the mortification of its intestines. I've
Yeah,
been squeezing pig things out of intestines.
I got to reevaluate life here.
I do know people like that. I'm not gonna lie. I do know people like that. I have a friend. Well, I can't. I mean, I don't really want to call her a friend anymore. she's she's a vegan. Okay. Uh, and she became vegan as she slowly found out what the things that she ate were like that, like the sausage casing, um, the pig brains and the pig guts, like like when she found out what all these things that she used to like to eat were, she was losing her mind. She was just like completely losing her mind. Like and she was like, I'm not gonna eat this. I'm like, now she's so vegan that she doesn't even have like she won't use plastic bags because I guess they're made out of like they're made out of like certain products of animals or whatever. She doesn't like buy like certain fabrics and all kinds. I'm like she's you go to her house, she none of the stuff that she uses is made out of like animals. Like it's crazy. I'm like, how do you do that? I couldn't do that. I couldn't sit there and research and look for stuff like you do. And for a very long time, she was losing weight quick, and it was scary. It was really scary because she would not eat anything that was like animal products. It was all vegetables, and so she was looking really bad. And then finally, well, now they have they have like all the different dietary vitamins and stuff like that for people who go vegan.
right.
And so she takes them, and she also she's kind of like made her peace with bread. She's starting to add more bread into her diet, so she looks a little bit healthier now. Unlike before, when her arms got really skinny, that was scary. When her arms got skinny, I don't know if you ever see somebody who's had like really thick arms most of their life, and then all of a sudden their arms just get like real skinny. It's strange. It's a very strange thing because it's like I always saw her with like meaty arms, but then when I saw her arms get like so skinny that I could see right through her like from her like the bottom of the shirt like when somebody's wearing a t-shirt or whatever, you can see I could see right through it, and I would tell her like put your arm down. Like I swear I could see all of your rib cage and everything every time you put your arm. Just leave it down. I'm not supposed to be able to see through your sleeve that much.
Right.
I'm sorry, guys. I was paying attention to the chat. What are you guys talking about over here? Talking art. Well, this is well. Look, I'll tell you like this, guys. This is like I said. This is the stuff that when I was like about 6 years ago, this was my life. Like it was like I would be with friends and we'd be like out and stuff like that. We just have conversations, and then all of a sudden we'd be talking about stuff like this. We're like, let's go get something to eat. Like, yay! And we'd all go get something to eat. Um, and it was just nonstop doing things. It was like I just it was weird. I didn't spend that much time in my house. I remember I used to even take my cat everywhere too because it was like sometimes I would feel like oh like I'm out at the shop and I go out stuff and my cat is just like at home by himself. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take him to the shop, and I would have him at the shop and stuff. It's just I was constantly moving, and it's weird. It's just really weird to me, like that I went from that to like not doing much, and it's just like whoa.
No, I get
Yeah, I
it.
guess.
I just
Because you know what, my Gordo is different from everybody else. Okay, he is only a tyrant to me. He loves everything else. He's the cat that when my friends come, if anybody who comes to visit, he does the love eyes, and then he'll go and sit on your lap, even if you didn't ask him, even if you didn't call him over, he'll come and sit on your lap, and everybody always does the same thing. What is he gonna do? What is he gonna do? Just let him be. He's gonna snuggle you, and you're gonna like it. Trust me, he's a big cat. So whenever people come up to, whenever he starts coming up to people, they get kind of apprehensive. But once he gets on top of you, he does that. He does this thing where he'll find your shoulder. He'll put his little paws on top of your shoulder, and you just can't help but hug him. He's just like he becomes like a big little hug pillow. Like it's perfect. But he never does that to me. Of course, all he does to me is like he'll like if I'm laying down, he'll sit on my head, or he'll like push me to like the point where he's sitting on like the back on my back or something. Like he'll never do the love eyes and the little paw hug to me. No, I get I get all the bad. Chris, if you want, sure. I'm open to it today. I don't have any problem with people coming up, but um, for technical reasons, anybody that comes up is going to be one at a time. I don't want to have one to three people because it's like it's just a whole bunch of mess. Uh, and if anybody else wants to come up, let me know, and we'll keep flipping people around. There he is. What's up, Friday the Wrangler?
hey, Michael.
All right, let me. I'll put the thing. Give me 1 second, guys. Uh, give me 1 second.
And Eric, I can relate. My whole family's hunters, and so we always have deer hanging around everywhere.
Did you want to come on too, Talking Art? How's it going, Friday the Wrangler? Uh, okay, check this out. What we'll do, since Chris asked me first, I'm gonna put the link on the stream on the chat. But we're gonna start off with Chris, and then after that we'll have Talking Art, and we'll do it by we'll basically when you get up here, Chris, let me know what you want to talk about specifically, so like we can talk about that, and then we'll let you have your point, and then we'll switch up because I don't want it to be unfair. I want everybody to have a chance to talk, and if anybody else wants to talk, let me know so we can get you up here. But I want everybody to come in one at a time, and I don't want you guys to leave the chat either because right now it's vital that you guys are in the engagement. So I'm gonna put the link right now in the chat, and for right now it's for Chris Jackson, and then after that we're gonna have Talking Art. dang, you dumb thing. I'm telling you, man, these buttons drive me crazy, dude. I'm pressing it, pressing it, pressing it, pressing it. It doesn't come up, come up. You tyrant button. Tyrant button is what it
Button.
is. Hit the like button. Doop, 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 doop. Okay, here we go.
I always feel like when talking to Narts in here, though, I have to really watch myself because she's so young.
Oh,
I
really? I
don't want
didn't
to
know.
corrupt. I don't want to corrupt her. Yeah, she's 19.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I got to be. I feel like I really need to watch my mouth and watch what I say because she's at that stage to where I don't want to corrupt her and just a bad person like me. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I actually like, growing up, I was one of those kids that could get along with any age group. So like I found myself sometimes like having older friends without even knowing it, right? And they didn't know it either until later on because I also was a big kid. I had my growth spurts when I was like I think I was 16. So I went from like 5'10" to like 6'3", from like 16 to 17, and I would hang out with older people all the time. And so I kind of get that, but one thing I never liked was when people patronized me when I was young. Like they would act like, oh, I can't say that in front of him or whatever. Like
That's true.
you know what? Hey, if they're here, they're here, and if they get it, they get it. If they don't, go find your age group. All right, Chris, what's up, man? Chris, you're in, buddy. I don't think he was ready. There he goes.
come
Oh
on,
no,
come on back,
Chris, come.
Chris. Come on back.
He's all like, no, I'm shy.
Nah.
Chris, are you gonna come back or what? There he is. There he is. I got him. All right, Chris, are you in?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. Sorry, the first time you guys couldn't hear me, so I kind of like dumped to see if it was just a correction. So,
Yeah,
Allen
it's always
Park, man,
corrections.
did you guys get any snow?
Did I get any snow? I live in Illinois. We got
No, I
we got a
said
tiny
Allen
bit.
Park. Yeah,
What's that?
I said Allen Park, but yeah, Illinois, Allen Park, same thing.
Yeah, I'm in West Central Illinois in BFE, and we had a little layer of ice, and we were supposed to get like 2 to 4 inches, and we got no snow. So
We got a little bit here in Belleville. I've been docked, so I don't care. I'll say I live in Belleville. I believe Jerry lives somewhere near me in Michigan because KFAR does. So just wanted to hop on and talk with you gents. So how's everything going? And yes, everything you eat, hot dogs, sausage, that's all in a casing. That casing is intestine, as gross as it sounds. Um, it happens, right? Pig parts.
Hey, I'm just glad that we don't go out there hunting and gut these things, like in front of everybody. I'm glad we don't have to do that anymore. I'm
Oh
glad
my
that.
God. I'm a huge fisherman. I love fishing. I have no problem cleaning fish, but my buddy's dad took me hunting. I grew up in Northern Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C. They took me hunting. His dad shot a deer. I didn't shoot, but they wanted to show me how to clean it and like tying off the butthole and all that nasty that my shoot. I do love to shoot, but my main target is paper with different designs on it sometimes, but it's just paper at the range. And
Oh, wow. Why did I think about that so much? I was like, paper, what? This guy's
yeah,
shooting
paper.
trees? What's going on here?
No, just paper.
I'm like,
Paper,
are you a lumberjack that shoots trees? Like, what do you get, like an AK-47 and shoot down trees? Is that what you're doing?
My son actually has an AK, but no. And he's got this thing because, like I bought a pumpkin because it was Halloween, right? So he made me buy him for his 21st birthday this revolver that shoots shotgun slugs, and it's big. It's called the Judge.
The Taurus Judge.
Yeah. But he blew the living shit out of that. I mean, he like two-shot the pumpkin, and the pumpkin disintegrated, which I was fine with because I made sure that the slugs were not lead; they were titanium or steel or whatever. Doesn't poison the animals. And I'm on a few acres out here in Belleville, so the deer.
God bless America.
Yeah, the deer came and ate the blowed up pumpkin. They didn't care. So as long as they didn't get lead poisoning, right?
Right.
It depends on the injection.
Yeah. So yeah, dude, I'm telling you, man, if you want to, that curry place I sent you in Sterling Heights is really good. It's Jamaican. It's not Thai curry. It's not Indian curry. It's Jamaican curry, but it's really good.
Well, the consensus is the Indian curry is the hottest of all.
Oh yeah, if you ever go to India, I've been to Delhi twice. If you ever go to India and get actual like Indian street food, yeah, dude, you won't taste your tongue or be able to smell anything for half a day if you're not used to it.
Yeah, I haven't had it. I've not had any authentic Indian food. I remember at this like fair thing where they had like Indian food or whatever, but somebody was telling me that's like the version of the hard shell beef taco, So I was like, oh, but yeah, I've yet to have like good authentic Indian food.
Well, obviously, Indian food doesn't have like beef taco. They don't eat cow, so.
Right.
if you find an Indian person selling you cow, it's kind of like a Muslim that's giving you pulled pork.
Yeah.
Those are no-goes.
I was gonna say it's a snake oil salesman, but it's a beef oil salesman.
Right.
But
right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you another place you can go, the Forgotten Jerry. It's a little-known place. It's in Sterling Heights. It's called Pi, P-I, Thai, T-H-I, or T-H-A-I. It's a little bitty place. It looks like a dump. They only take cash.
Yes, I was about to say, it sounds like every dump that I've been to, but they're usually good.
Oh, my God. It is so good. But Pi is the actual cook. Pi came over. And Pi, you get to pick when you order your food, mild, medium, hot, or hot. And like I'm a white gentleman, and Pi gets right up in your face. Get hot. You can't handle hot. Oh no. You get hot. You already get sick. Never mind. Get hot. He's hysterical, dude.
I can tell Chris hangs out at that place a lot. I can really tell he hangs out at that place.
He is the funniest guy. I mean, he's awesome. But yeah, he's not kidding, dude. You want to talk about fire poop? It burns to the point where your eyes are watering. Hot. This is not hot. I've never actually gotten hot out of Pi. Your eyes are watering. Your nose is like literally draining. And the next day it hurts.
The fire poop, right? The fire poop.
Beyond Mexican fire poop. This is a new level of fire poop. We're talking about fire poop 2.0.
Well, I have like there's you gotta understand the fire poop is very varied by depending on which how much poop decided to gather itself with chili, right? Because it's like sometimes like it'll be just one
chili de Castro.
Chili de Castro is poop, but he really has no fire to him, so we can't really put him in that category.
I like it.
But like it's and these are my experiences, so like forgive me if I'm getting a little too graphic here, but it's like sometimes it's like just one. It's just one that's just like coming out real slow, and it's like ha 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 ha, and then there's other times where it's like it just won't stop. It's like
Pai Tai is the fire hose. Just so you know. Before you go there, it's the fire hose effect, and but it is. I will tell you, man, it It burns your eyes. It burns your tongue. It is. If you like spicy stuff, it is delicious going down. He goes to Randazzo's every morning, gets all fresh ingredients, and everything is right. I mean, straight up, nothing comes from like Cisco or any of the other big vendors. It's all straight up. He handpicked that morning everything that he cooks.
Well, one of my favorite places that I would go to is called Pho. And have you had pho, that soup?
Pho. Where you in Virginia? We had pho. So in Northern Virginia, where I lived, we had 1 million people come over after Vietnam. So there was a pho. They were very non-imaginative.
They're all called
right. They're very non-imaginative people. It was like whatever road they were on, it was Pho 7. If they were on Route 7, they were Pho 95. They were on Route 95.
Right.
Pho 36. Like the street,
like Magnolia Pho. Yeah.
Right. I mean, very good food. I love pho. Pho is delicious. Pho and udon are some of my favorites, but
yes.
Very unimaginative with the name of your restaurants.
Yeah, that's right. Like, but it was like but the one that I liked just had pho. Like they had their particular name, but the sign that they had was just pho. And I remember I found it because I was like, man, I could really go for some pho right now. And I was like, where am I going to go? And I look there.
So without doxing you, where is it? Because I'm in Belleville. I know I'm close to you, ish.
I'm nowhere near you, pal. I heard.
Erica Benedetto said that
Jerry's in SoCal.
I didn't want to spoil it.
Erica told me you were in Allen Park, dude. That's like a block.
Probably because K4 and I are, like, and K4 is such a nice guy. He's a really cool dude.
I got him his fez, his Moorish flag, his American flag. Those are all gifts from the god that they call the Amun-Ra, Chris Samaj Shabazz El of the freely traveling clan of El Bay.
I'm so glad you came and met us, man. That I've always been in Los Angeles and I have not met K4 in person, but he has been one of the nicest people and one of the friendliest people that I've met in this community. So I absolutely even if I haven't met him, I told him, you are my friend. You are.
He's a great guy. We were supposed to watch a Michigan game. I had some unexpected health problems. I spent a little bit of quality time in the hospital. Missed a little bit of the football season, but we were supposed to do. He had invited me over. We were gonna do like wings and football and man stuff.
You guys
right?
do
That's right.
Right. So yeah, but he's a great guy. Absolutely.
Dude,
yes, he is.
And God bless Rip. R.I.P. Big Cat, who showed me the way to K4.
That's right.
Wow,
Schrodinger's
really?
cat. Yeah,
Really?
that's how I found K4. I never actually met Schrodinger's cat. I'm just saying when he featured K4, when it was XXX K4 XX or whatever.
Well, yeah, when he was still, like the single K4, he didn't take out the X until he got, the next K4, then the X had to come out.
When he was like you, he's like 58, 60 subs. When he was small, and his videos were on point, and big supporter.
Yeah, he's like I said, he's been one of the most friendliest guys, coolest guys.
Absolutely.
I can never say a bad thing about him because he's just a stand-up dude. He's just one of those people that like I can't believe that like somebody like Josh had to come into his life. You know what I mean? Like a person who is such a good, nice person who like a family man and everything has to deal with something like that. It's like, it makes it even worse,
But that's grabbing at your coattails. I mean, Josh is done. I mean, dude, he's probably got Wolvie's member in his mouth right now.
Wolvie got the member?
For $20 to get his next piece of crystal.
Sure.
I mean, it's it's sad, and I feel for anybody. But yeah, I mean, when Kfar texted me and said that Wolvie and Josh were going to come over there, I told him, like, straight up, man, you want me to come over? I got my carried concealed. No, they step on your property. Oops. Sorry.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have taken that. I'm just,
yeah, they're basically, harmless. But I just wanted to give them a little man back up if you needed it, right? Because, dude, who does that to somebody with little kids?
Who does that? Period. It's like I've had my beefs like with people, and I've had beefs with people inside this community or whatever, but it never goes further than the conversation we had or the disagreement we had. You know what I mean? I don't think about them afterwards and stuff like that.
Dude, he was talking about going to those little kids' school.
Yeah, that's
an elementary school. To me, that's sick. That's dangerous. That's sick.
Not only did he threaten it, he actually posted where the school was in the address.
Right, because everybody's going to run there.
Right.
Everybody's going to go to an elementary school in Livonia.
Right.
And again, those of you guys that don't know this area, Livonia is a very affluent area. That it's not poor. We can afford police there, and not.
Well, I mean, when Kfar goes for his walks, I know good neighborhoods when I see him. So, like when he would go for his walks and stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, that's a decent place to live in.
And Chris, what is in the water in Michigan with so many Sobsit, Moorish, First Amendment auditors? I mean, it's ground zero there.
Well, and again, I don't have your name showing up. What can I address you as, sir?
Corrections.
He's Corrections 101.
Oh, corrections. Okay, can I call him corrections? All right, corrections.
My ex-wife calls me much worse. So
I'm sure.
That's Mr. 101 to you, sir.
As the Amon Ra, Chris Shabazz L of the freely traveling clan of El Bay, first sword of Marrakesh and Tangiers, known as the Zephyr of the Atlas Mountains. I can't honestly divulge what we put in the water here.
Damn it.
That makes us all Moors.
That was too authentic, man. You were one. Don't lie to me.
Oh, dude, I wish I was
too good.
I wish I could.
That was good. He's got this down.
I've been playing a Moor for like 2 years. No, and the 36th district court is the court that I'm privy to if I was
That's beautiful.
Where you
anything. At? Where are you at?
It's called Belleville, Michigan.
No, I was going to say, where you at? The 36th District Court. Where are we? The 36th District Court.
Oh, yeah.
You are in the 36th District Court.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I can't even. All I can tell you is in Detroit, which, again, I encourage you both to come visit. It's beautiful this time of year.
I've been there. It's a shithole. Sorry.
You can stay with Josh.
You're gonna just do that on him. He's telling you that it's a nice place. You're just, it's a shithole. It's the toilet of the United States.
Actually, just because I still have family there, Baltimore is the toilet. We're the second bowl.
You have a point. I have driven through Baltimore once, and that was one time too many.
Yep. The only good thing about Baltimore is the aquarium, and we are the second bowl of the toilet of the country. Yes.
Now, the one good thing I can say about Detroit is I went there once on business, and they took me to some amazing pizza place, and they have the best deep dish pizza. It was freaking amazing.
Oh, Pizzapopolis?
Yes, that's it. Yep.
And just so you know, that's a Chicago company that came here and squatted.
Oh, really?
You can get if you live in Illinois, you can get it in Chicago.
They probably know
and I'm sure pretty close to Chicago. Maybe Peoria. I don't know.
It was so thick. I mean, I could put some food down. I had 2 slices, and I could barely walk out of there.
That was definitely Pizzapopolis. Yep.
Yeah.
Pizzapopolis.
Yeah.
Just the name. The name sounds like it has a lot of meat to it, like Pizza Poppers.
Oh, they make
Like-
this god awful, and I actually enjoy their food. But one of the girls I was dating, she used to be my secretary. I don't know if that's an improper term. She used to be my procurement phone assistant. Maybe that's a better way to say it.
It just depends how you treated her.
I was dating her, but she liked their seafood pizza. And it
Oh
was
no.
oh my god, dude! It was like
Can't do that.
tilapia crab with a K, and like these little bitty shrimp that were. I mean, I'm sure they were shrimp at some point, but had been frozen, unfrozen, frozen.
Maybe it's the Mexican in me, but I can't do any fishy cakes. I can't do any fishy cakes. I can't do any fishy pizza, anything that's bready with fish. I can't do. I have to do my fish with tostadas, and if it's tacos, if it's like shrimp tacos or anything like that, that shrimp or that fish better be breaded because it.
Oh my god! If you're West Side, dude, go. Oh my god! I will tell you right now. If you're West Side, go on a charter trip, catch a skipjack or a yellowfin tuna or something. Another ocean fish that's delicious, and just cut it raw right there and cut the skin off. Eat it sashimi. Oh, nothing better, dude. I do it every year.
If I can someday, I would try to bring my friend Stoney on here, and the name Stoney may take you to another place, but he is a fisherman. He loves fishing. He does the bass stuff, everything. Like
Nothing
he loves
better
it.
in the world.
He loves it, and he'll talk to you all day. And you could ask him for instructions on how to gut a fish. He'll give you everything.
Oh, I know how to gut, fillet. I got all that. I got 48 years of that. I'm good. I got it.
You love this guy.
Ah, God, yeah. But no. Fresh mahi right out of the. Straight out of the. But again, if you've never tasted it straight out of the water while it's still bleeding, there's nothing better.
It must have blood. I must taste the blood.
No. You rinse it off. So the hose runs in the boat. So the hose is the salt water because it's just sucking water out of the ocean. But you hose it down.
Chris, I'm joking, buddy. I'm joking.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just saying it's delicious, dude. It's delicious. That's all I was trying to say. Delicious. Tasty. Yeah.
No, dude. I love it, man. I have had fresh mahi from like I said, my friend Stoney. I love him. He moved away from the ocean, believe it or not. He went to go. He lives in Arizona now, but he found fishing because he used to be troubled. He got shot 5 times in front of his house when and it was mistaken identity too. Yeah. He was standing outside, but this is LA, okay? LA, these things happen. These gangsters, and this is stuff that you won't hear on the.
All right, that sounds like this is Detroit. Okay.
It probably is. I wouldn't be surprised.
No, we wake up every morning. So here, and again, I'm not trying to discard your statement, but here we wake up every morning and turn on the morning news, and it's 2 people shot on the east side, 3 people shot on the west side, and that's like every day. That's like the sun's gonna shine today. There's gonna be air. The water's wet. Sky's blue. There's nothing. It's like nothing. And how sad is that? People are dying and people are getting shot. And how sad is that? Right?
Yeah,
that's our news. Right.
But Chris, this is exactly why I would get so upset with people who were buying into stuff that was going on in the country about like protests and all this other stuff. It's like, you guys are serious about this stuff, right? Like we didn't just like in LA in the 90s, it was like you couldn't. Everything was like firing off everywhere, right? And it was like right over here.
Rooftop Koreans, absolutely.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts. I used to live because a lot of people get things confused as far as like LA is concerned. You hear about Compton, you know Compton, the city, and then there's
I know.
Compton.
I actually went there after when the riots were going on. I was a senior in high school.
Okay, well you know Compton Boulevard, right? There's Compton
Yep.
the city, and then there's Compton Boulevard, right?
Yep.
So Compton Boulevard was where I used to stay off the street 60th and Compton Boulevard, and so when I used to walk to school, I used to have to walk from 60th Street to Florence Street, and it was like probably like 4 or 5 blocks. Those 4 or 5 blocks that I would walk every morning and come back, there was always something going on, always like some shooting,
Oh, sure.
something, police tape, murder victim or whatever. One of the famous things that I usually tell most of my friends about is there was a 12-year-old boy who when I was at the time I was 10, he was 12, and so I had to learn how to take the bus because my mom wouldn't let me go to the schools there. I had to go to the school that I was going to that was on more east side, and so he showed me how to take the bus on Gage, and so he would walk with me. And this kid didn't go to school. He would just walk with me to the bus. We would have conversations about Pokemon, and then I would go to school. And so one day when I was walking over there to go meet him up so we can go, uh, he was shot. He was dead. He was killed.
Oh
Uh,
man. Wow.
yeah,
Uh,
it's that's the thing is that like I tell a lot of people it's like when you once you go to something like that, it's like dude, like it's like it puts a lot of things in perspective, like as far as what life is and stuff like that, and you just don't you don't you I don't get why people get so hung up on certain things. It's like
Right,
get
but
over yourself.
without pulling politics into this, this is the insanity, though. The
Yeah,
people in charge, and I'm not going to pull any
it's hard to, but
Democrat,
I get what you're
Republican.
saying. I get what you're saying.
So in Detroit, right? So we have on average 1 to 2 little girls, little boys pulled in because we've got more abandoned houses in Detroit. Detroit at its flourish was a population of almost 3 million. We're down to 300,000. So
Hmm.
you can buy a house in Detroit. You guys can both. I'll offer you both. There's like 1,800 houses for $1. I mean, you couldn't live in them, but you can buy them. And but little girls and little boys get pulled in there by addicts that are living in them. And the casinos that we just installed a couple of years ago, we're going to tear all the abandoned houses down. And then politicians came out and said, "Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! You're going to make it's cold here in Detroit. You're going to make transient people homeless by not letting them live in abandoned houses." So we still have all the shootings, all the and again, dude, I can't even wrap my head around that. But you're going to pull a little kid into a bando and do bad things. That's not kosher at the best. But it's sad, and it goes on through all our major cities. And I feel, that what is the recourse? I mean,
No,
at some
I get it. I get it. I get it, man.
yeah, I mean, why would a 12-year-old get shot? To me, that makes no sense.
It doesn't, and it's just really just a waste of life. It's like, and that's the thing is that I've told this to a lot of people that I run into. It's like they think that my demeanor might be a little bit too fired up and stuff like that about certain things, but to me, it's like I don't I don't I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow or the next day or whatever. I only have the things I have to be passionate about. Like and I have to be passionate about them because who else is gonna be passionate about them for me? Nobody.
And
Nobody's gonna
especially now that you're getting a platform, don't ever back down off your passions. Don't.
I'm not.
I mean, I
That's
got doxxed a couple times on other people's channels, and they wanted, we're gonna do. I even had some guy come to my house with a gun, because he was upset with me because I didn't agree with his YouTuber. And like I told him, dude, my house is, I got the Mossberg right by the door. You really wanna play? We can play.
Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to get across with when I tell that story is that it's it's a precious thing. Like our lives are
Oh, yeah,
precious. You know what I mean? It's something that we take for granted because we wake up every day, like you said, we're up and we go do our things every day, but it can be taken out at any time. And the truth for me is that stop it with the fucking bullshit. Like with
so
all this
I'm
petty
I'm
bullshit.
gonna take a wild swing that you're a little bit younger than me.
I am.
I know you are. But do you guys think there's like a reset, like there's a do-over, like in a video game? I don't know if that's at I'm 48, so I don't know. I mean, I played video games, but they didn't really start till I was 12, and I get it. But I think like mentally, a lot of people believe that there's like if I flame out here, I just reset,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there's no reset. I mean,
Yeah, I think that's a very prominent attitude with a lot of people is that they don't understand how fragile things are, and I think unfortunately I got that lesson a little too early in life. Maybe some people would think that it was wrong for me to like go through an experience like that, and I don't know. I mean, it's possible, but
I would tell you it is wrong for you to have to go through everything.
well,
That's scary,
it,
right?
it was my lot in life, but I don't like the like my cousin who also too like he saw some heavy shit when he was young and he took his life. I
Oh
chose not to do
goodness.
that. I chose not to let that like make me feel like, oh, there's no hope. You know what I mean? Like for some reason I still hang on to the hope that like I want to feel like life is important. I want to feel like there are more important things than not getting shot or thinking about things that are petty and wrong or whatever. Like I like to believe that we can still be good people. Like if we want to be. Um, I
Right, but
just
that's spirituality, right? So, spirituality to me is devoid of religion, and I'm sure if you're Hispanic, you're probably Catholic. It's fine. I went K through 8 Catholic school.
He says that's fine.
Well, no, I
no.
went
Well,
K
let me.
through 8 in Catholic school. But
I like Chris because the thing is that Chris has already assumed a few things and he's way off. But I'm not hating you
yeah,
for it. I understand where you're
I'm
coming from with
sorry if
that.
I apologize if I'm way off.
It's all
I
right. I'm
mean,
not gonna be upset about it.
yeah,
Like I said,
it
I
was
don't
not
hold
meant
on to
as a
petty
it
things.
was not
No,
meant as an attack. I'm
I
just saying
understood. I understand. I
No, we
understand.
don't give it. We don't give a shit on this channel.
Okay,
We
again,
don't get
it
butthurt.
was yeah, it was not meant as an attack. I
No, let
apologize.
me get real quick. Let me tell you something
Yes,
about
sir.
me and how I want
Yes,
to run
sir.
this channel.
Yes, sir.
The only thing I don't deal with is bullshit. If you
Okay.
believe that because that was your experience and that's how you felt, that's fine with me. I don't deal with people who come in bad faith, and that's why I can't stand frauditors. That's why I can't stand people like them because
Amen.
they're liars, and they not only will they not admit that they're liars, but they double down on it. So I don't like to deal with them, and I don't like to talk to them because they don't want to deal in reality. So I won't deal with them at all. They don't have to be in my conversations, and they don't have to be a part of my community because it's like you're not bringing any contribute. You're not contributing anything. Even if your views are skewed or not exactly aligned to mine, you're not doing anything but trying to lie and try to take advantage of people. And I don't want that. I don't want that in my community. I don't want that around me. That's why I don't deal with them at all. If they come here, I don't give them a platform like all the other creators. I won't. They're out. I treat them like marked out. Get out. I don't want them. I don't even want to talk to them. But go ahead, yeah, and I'll let you know what's going on after that. But yeah, go ahead. What were you saying?
Mark Stout. That's
The former frauder, yeah,
yeah. I was thinking Big West for a second. Sorry.
that's the other
So
one.
what I was saying is, for me personally, not you guys. I'm not putting this on you. I'm just saying for me personally. So religion and spirituality are different, right?
Absolutely.
For me, spirituality, every day I wake up and I hope to have a better connection to all of the world around me, right? Just a deeper connection, empathy in all things, right? Empathy to all people, see the beauty in all things, right? Whether it's a rotting fruit, whether it's a blossoming flower, beauty in all things, honesty, loyalty, and courage. To me, those are to me, that is spirituality. So different than religion. I mean, I got taught religion. And again, I got like pigeonholed taught religion. Like my parents were Catholic. They stuck me in Catholic school. I got pigeonholed into that. I know it. I can recite the Bible, but don't like to because it's not what I believe, honestly. But to me, spirituality is that. And that's what I try and live my life by because, honesty, courage.
Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you on all that.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I very well said. Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
and if the technical term of where I'm at is I'm an atheist.
Okay.
It's not that. And this is what I always tell everybody is that it's not that I don't wish or want things to be a certain way because that would be lovely, right? If I could feel that my burdens could be lifted because there's something there for me, then I would believe in that. But I don't because I don't feel it there, and I don't have any kind of like I told Reaper because she has her beliefs and what she believes in, and I don't disrespect her for it. I mean, if she believes it, she believes it. Like I said, I don't deal in bullshit. If people are bullshitting me, I don't like it. But I can tell that she believes in what she believes in, and so I respect her for it. I don't because I don't feel nothing. I don't feel nothing there. I've never felt like somebody's talking to me. I've never felt, things outside of me, like that. Maybe it's because I dealt with death at an early age. I don't know. I've tried to I've tried to find those things that people talk about, like those connections, those spiritual connections and stuff like that. I've never had it. I've never felt it. And
And
so,
I absolutely agree with everything you're saying. I've never I went through eight years of Catholic school waiting for that, that second that God was going to talk to me, right? I got confirmed. I don't remember my baptism. I got baptized. I did all the rigmarole to be a Catholic.
yeah,
And you know what? God never said shit.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I I'm not an atheist. I'm agnostic because I don't think, as a smart guy, which I like to think I am, I don't think it was a mistake, right? Or just a random thing that people have thoughts. They have goals, they have dreams, they have ambition, they have sadness. Because our animals don't, right? Like my dog that passed last September was my best friend of 15 years. And she couldn't talk, she couldn't. I mean, she showed love in a lot of ways, but she was never depressed. She was never anything. So I'm agnostic. I do pray sometimes, but again, I think that if we look at our surroundings, if we get that deeper connection, right? That's what I strive for. At least me. Not you. I'm not putting this on anybody, but I strive for that deeper connection to the earth, to the water, to the sky, and just try and treat everybody right better.
Do
Because
better.
thank you, I'm sorry, I forgot I was I forgot I was on Denver Metro Audits. I do better, do better.
Do
Hey,
better.
did you guys see that my buddy out here right by me? He's like uh, um, 4 miles away. He used to be Detroit Metro audits. Now he's like public tour.
Oh yeah.
You guys saw that he dipped, right? Now that he got like 10 charges, got convicted again, got convicted again.
Well, that would he. That's good.
So he's on the run?
No, he's here. He's here. He just dumped YouTube because his little stunt at the airport on the day before Christmas, because that's what you do at an international airport in a big hub, right?
Yeah.
Is throw a fit and do all that bullshit. And then he was gonna, all these auditors are gonna come. We're gonna get you. I'm gonna sue for $50 billion. And no auditors showed up. He went to court. He lost. They took a ton of money from him, and then he cried outside the court because he got caught videotaping in the court. And yeah, I mean,
he was one of the biggest crybabies. Like, oh my god, that court video to me was so hilarious because it's like he's doing all the like supposedly the intimidate, but you can hear the whininess and like it's like dude, you're not intimidating anybody. Just walk away. Some of these guys when I see them, I'm just like, just walk away, man. Like, you know,
he works for Chrysler. I've already contacted Chrysler. The funniest video, I don't know if you saw it. The funniest video was the one SC put out where he was about to get his ass handed to him. He went to he went to Hazel Park, Michigan, which is as black as Nigeria, and filmed a woman. No. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying he was in the wrong part of town doing what he did, and he filmed this woman who said flat out, "Don't film me. Don't film me. Don't film me. Don't film me." And he said, "Oh, my right. Blah, 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 blah." And then she called her boyfriend, husband, whatever. There was no distinction. And he showed up. Dude, he showed up and he was like, "I'm going to beat your ass." And he was, "Oh, you can't do that. It'll be assault." I don't care.
I remember that.
Right.
Yep, I remember that.
I've been in jail. I've been in the pen. I don't care. I'm going to beat your ass. Take it off. Delete it now. Delete it, bitch. And just, okay. All right.
Like, that's how, look, dude, that's how you know his wife was an ass kicker. You know what I mean? Because that guy's been to prison. He's like, you know what? I don't want to deal with that. Okay, so you go erase that.
Hey, man, I mean, seriously, if you know, I'm divorced right now, but if somebody did that to my wife, seriously, I'd go clean them up. Serious, straight up.
Oh yeah,
true. These fathers sometimes don't understand
joking.
That.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no joking. I'd clean them up. Fuck it. You know what? It'd be my first charge of my life. It'll get dismissed. Fuck you.
Yeah, and that's the great thing that we're seeing now is because more people are willing to take that ride, and the prosecutors aren't charging them. They're dropping the charges, and that's amazing.
Yeah. Did you see the thing in Sheridan?
Yes.
With DMA? Yeah. Dude, they're standing up. They're standing up. And I thought it was poignant and perfect that gentleman stood up and said he was a rights activist in the 70s.
Yep.
And he hated them.
Yep.
And yeah, just for the record, if anybody wants to know,
I'll tell you, the thing that I hated about DMA is that he acts like he's a little activist or whatever, but you see,
dude, he's a twat.
Here, big time. He is the number one. You know, if you look twat waffle in the dictionary, he is the picture right beside it. But the thing that pisses me off about him and Regan, you know, like and these people who call themselves activists is that I actually right here in my city, we took out real corruption, like real, like with people, we got together and we actually did something like that, you know. And every time, especially when I found fraudsters for the first time, I would be like, that's not how you do it. You know, like I get so frustrated watching them do things because it's like, why are you going to the cop? Why are you going to that clerk? Why are you even bothering them? They're not going to change anything. You go to the city hall meetings and you go find out who started what policy, and then you start figuring out what's going on and stuff like that. We had a problem with and believe it or not, it was something. Do you see, the thing is, these guys have this idea that corruption is like, oh, the cops are just killing, like bad guys or stuff like that. No, corruption is in a weird way about money. And so
Yep.
the cops what they were doing is that they were not letting other little shops get certain packs of meat. The meat was going to one store, and that store was monopolizing the meat in the city. They were basically making it hard for everybody to have like different types of meat. We didn't know this. We had no idea. What we were starting to understand that some shops weren't they weren't doing that well. We didn't understand why they couldn't get certain orders. So because those people, some of those people only spoke Spanish, they came to me to go translate, and I started finding out what was going on. We figured out that the police chief was not allowing these other, like, he was putting regulation of these other stores to make sure that they didn't get these meats, and he was sending all the meat to his father-in-law's market. And we figured all of this out. And so at the end, after all this stuff, 2 years and a half of city hall meetings, 2 years and a half of putting in votes, 2 years and a half of just like doing all of this stuff, we finally got the police chief out, and we finally got that
Good.
element out.
Good.
But you see, but that is such a, like,
But did you have to hold your phone with the video on in the face of some 80-year-old woman who was
no,
coming to buy, whatever?
never. I never. The whole time that we
That's
dealt
what
with
I'm
the
saying. Yep.
the,
That's what I'm saying.
the whole time we dealt with the police station, the police chief, I never went into the police station. I went to the city hall meetings. I went to a court. I went to one court because we actually did a lawsuit, but we didn't have to go all the way because the police chief finally said, you know what, you guys got me, and I can't, if I continue to fight this, I'm gonna see like criminal charges. So he just ran out. He wasn't gonna do it. He
Sure.
he overturned his own ordinance that he put in for the meat, and he ran away. We have not seen him anywhere near her, and it's crazy because that market I shut down like 2 days later, and we never heard of that family ever again. But yeah, that's like, like that. I'm not saying it's a harrowing story, like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean, or whatever. But it's just something that,
No,
like, if you,
but again, you didn't poke your camera at a 90-year-old or 80-year-old woman in their face to video them and, oh, it's my First Amendment. That's
Yeah.
different. Yeah, if there's something going wrong, absolutely. I am 1000% against frauditors. But if there is a criminal act by the police, I'm 100% behind recording it, getting to the proper people, and, we'll. And again, like you said, 2.5 years, it'll take time, sadly. But
yeah, that's the other thing too that discourages so many people, is that they're like, oh, we have to go to another thing. We have to go to. Well, it just depends on how important it is to you. I wish that we could move things that much faster, but bureaucracy is what it is. That's another thing that we have to change. We have to figure out how we can make things easier on politicians.
bureaucracy will never change. It's going to be a slow tog through everything. Always.
Nah, I would only have to believe you on that.
So just everybody knows I'm in Michigan. Again, not a lie. So I pay my quarterly taxes because that's what you do when you make a lot of money and you don't work. So I had an email from the state of Michigan that said I owed January and April's payments from last year. So I sent them pictures of the checks that I paid them. And then they said even though those checks were withdrawn, it doesn't matter. You still owe us for January and March. And I was like, what? And they said, if not, we're going to charge you again. And I said, okay, well, here's the return checks again that I paid. Then they hit me because, again, this was insult to injury, right? So they sent me the bill for the 2 quarterlies that I'd already paid. They'd already cashed, that I'd given the information for, with penalties and interest. So that's the government. And it has nothing to do, and again, I'm not getting political. It's just, it is the government. It's bureaucracy. Takes forever. Blah, blah, blah. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and people just have they just have the wrong idea of who's the one that's making problems in their life, And I hate this. I hate that people placate people by allowing them to have this idea that there is an actual boogeyman. You know what I mean? That there is an actual face to that like the way things happen in neighborhoods and stuff like that. It's like I can't. I just take some self accountability. Just take responsibility for yourself. Like you can't do anything about millions and millions of people. You can't do anything more than the people that are around your block. Just take responsibility for that, and you'll see change. You'll see people act differently. It's just it gets me so upset that people want to make it so big. You want to like try to take care of the world, but you can't take care of your neighbor. You know what I mean? It's like, why are we getting away from that? You know what I mean? It's like community begins with the people that are around you. Make that better first, and then worry about the world if you're that great, if you've done things so well. But I don't think that will ever happen. I feel like people complicate themselves when life is so much more simpler than that.
Yeah, and to pick up some on Chris was saying is that, you know, I certainly have my problems with, massive government, and government spending, and I have my issues with that. And these frauders, what pisses me off so much, and this gets back to the coming in here with your bullshit. Just be straight up with what you want to do. These frauditors, they sit here and complain, well, you're spending too much money here. You shouldn't be paying this much money to this person. The cop cars are running too much. But then they go into Sheridan with 15 frauditors asking for 15 FOIA requests with each one of these frauditors with a list of 15 different things for each FOIA request to require, with the only purpose to shut down and bog down an entire government and to completely shut it down. And then they encourage call flooding. So we're going to shut down the 911 center. So people that need actual service for rape, sexual assault, murder, they can't get through 911 now because all these sycophants want to call and bog down the entire system. It's completely contradictory, and because it's nothing about the First Amendment. They don't give a care about the First Amendment. They're just anti-government extremists who want to shut the whole system down. Like Chili said, the whole purpose of this is in the future to have these constitutional cities now, to where there's no government, there's no police, it's pure chaos, and that's the end goal.
The thing is that their end goal usually it would be the end. There's no real planning to this. The thing is that the people who always cry about the police or always cry about people are holding us down and stuff like that, or it's because of this or because of that. It's like what it is that you can't work with in the same space that other people do, because it's like the whole. I understand that at some point things weren't equal. And I'll acknowledge it all day because we're not perfect. We've seen it. We know the history books and we know what those times were. But we understand now that that's not right. And as a society, we don't accept it, whether it's in your heart or not. It doesn't matter. Our society doesn't accept it. And if you don't think that that's reality, then just look around you, because there is no way any of us even if our hearts were darkened by evil thoughts, would bring those out. Why? Because society as a whole doesn't accept it. At the time when that was the way it was, society accepted the way things were at that time. So then people could act that way. People could think that way and say it out loud because it was accepted. People don't do it now because it's not. And I hate that people try to add more to that. Try to be like, oh, well, like you're thinking about it. Don't worry about what I'm thinking. The thing that you should be thinking about is that things are right, and you should move within it as it works. And it like I hate that we're all in the same boat. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
and
Yes.
we
Yes.
we should all move the same way. We should all be able to do things and do. Everybody should have the
Preach.
same. Yeah, and so I'm just done. I'm done with that. I'm done with thinking that way. So it upsets me that people want to be, like, well, this is it's because of this or it's because of that. It's like it's not. I'm also tired of people bashing the country because it's like this country
Preach.
it's still the youngest experiment that is working, and it's been doing it for years, and it's been copied over and over again. I don't care what people talk about, like different government styles, whatever. The point is that this country started off the Constitution. They started off the Bill of Rights, and it's been duplicated over and over again where it works in other countries. And if it didn't work, it wouldn't be duplicated as it is. And I don't understand, and I don't get why we continuously want to keep cutting at our feet when we're doing the right things. We're not a country of a bunch of hate mongers. We have people who are not going to be great, but what society doesn't, right? This is what I tell people all the time. You want things to be perfect, but what's perfect, right? No, nothing's perfect. Why do you keep looking for that? I'm in a country where when I'm born, I'm given the right to go to school, to find an education, be able to get a job, and it'll all be the same for almost every single other person that lives next to me.
May
How
May
how
I
much better is that?
interject,
Go ahead.
please?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I went on a when I was 20, I think 21, 22. I went on a missionary journey to Senegal and French Guiana, French Equatorial Guiana. Sorry, that part of Africa, and I was supplying funds for the Doctors Without Borders through my church, not me. Well, I mean, I chipped in, but to fix the cleft palates. So if you know what a cleft palate is, I don't know. But how sad is this country that we're that abandoned of any sense of right and wrong, that we're we're crying over dumb stuff, right?
Yeah, no,
We're
we're creating problems of the past when we're over it. Like the thing that I hate most about the way people act right now, especially younger people and Art. I don't mean you because obviously you're here and you're listening to us, but I see a lot of young people who act like things are as bad as they were like in the 50s, and I want to just like I want to take them to the
they
50s.
have
You know
no
what I mean?
idea. Yeah, they
They
have
they
no idea.
don't. I don't know. I just know by the history books. You know what I mean?
So
But
how old were you when I came down there in '93 for the riots?
in '93, I
93,
was
94, 95, whatever.
that was actually what was it?
OJ. OJ.
Yeah. It was that was actually 1 year removed from when my friend got shot. That I was 9 years old.
Oh, so wow, I am old. Just so you know, the Forgotten Jerry, fuck you for making me feel old. So
I'm 40. I'm 44 myself. So
Get
you're good, but fuck Jerry.
Hey, what I tell everybody, get your fuckies in now. Get your fuckies in now.
If you don't know, it's a good jest. Yeah.
It's fine, man.
So
I'm cool.
I was actually on the top with some rooftop Koreans. And I don't know where they get all the AKs. I mean, I'm a good shot. They all had like not the cheap Chinese AKs. They had the Russians, the real AKs, and they were daring people because that guy got pulled out of the truck, beaten to death. They had some other issues.
Yeah, there was a lot of. I wasn't up in the streets, but yeah,
that was the truck driver, right?
Sorry?
That was the truck driver who got beat to death, wasn't it?
There was one truck driver that was beat to death. There was one truck driver that was beat. They thought they beat him to death, but EMT brought him back. So
it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad, though.
Yeah, and I was up there with the rooftop Koreans. I was sniping. If somebody came, I didn't actually hit anybody. I didn't shoot, but I was ready. I was up there with the rooftop Koreans, and you know, I don't want that to ever happen to my country again. I mean, seriously, I thought about going to Minnesota, where that shit show was happening. I did not. I was older. As much as I would like my fight to be, it was not my fight.
What was happening in Minnesota, or are you talking Wisconsin with like Kyle Rittenhouse?
Oh yeah, sorry, Wisconsin, Kyle Rittenhouse. I heart Rittenhouse.
Me too.
Right, me too.
Yep.
That's funny that you're gonna say me too.
that kid truly what everything that he underwent that night for the discipline that he had and for the control that he had. It's amazing at his age.
Absolutely. I couldn't at 19. I could not.
No, he was 17 at the time.
Well, shit. 17 is even better. I would have. I mean, at 17, I was benching 450. I was squatting 675. And I would have just gone to nuclear state and kid with the skateboard, really? At that point in my life, kid with the skateboard would have been broke. Your skateboard's broke. I'm going to beat you to death. And it is what it is. And again, I apologize. It was, oh, shit. Oh, maybe I'm not in the show. But yeah, I did not like it. I did not appreciate it. I did not agree with it. And I heart Rittenhouse.
Absolutely. Yeah, I watched that whole trial. And how they even brought those charges is beyond me. That's just prosecutorial misconduct, in my opinion.
Since we're going there, and this is because I started by talking about this because I was telling you guys how like about 6 years ago I was moving around and everything came to a screeching halt, and so the story of that is that when that stuff started happening over here, this is not easy. I dealt with those people, and I had a friend who was an activist, and she was my Well, at the time, it was my best friend, and she wanted to be a part of that, and that was cool with it. Like I supported her, and I let her do her thing, and she was my assistant manager, and we were partners, and it was a good time.
Hey, I hate to stop you, but loves and hugs. Uh, Reaching out to you through the internet. Loves and hugs, right?
Same, bro. Same, bro.
Well, let me.
Say what you
This,
need to say. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But loves and hugs, right?
I got you. I got. This is something
We
that's gonna be kind
care.
of.
We care. That's
It's
all
gonna
I'm
be.
saying. We care.
What comes next is the story of one of the most revealing things that I'll probably ever talk about, and I have to though because it's like people will understand me a lot better once I do. Um, she decided that our friendship wasn't something that she wanted to cherish. She wanted to cherish the friendship with the people that she had just met, and so because she knew all of my secrets, all of the things where I had all my stuff, and like because I was working in a medical marijuana shop. She knew that I couldn't keep a bank and stuff like that. She coordinated uh, stealing of my money. She did that. She came into my shop with the people of a certain movement, and under the guise of a protest, destroyed my shop, and they took they took my life.
Are you talking about a car shop or a dope shop?
It was a weed
Marijuana
shop.
shop. Sorry.
It was a weed shop. It
Legal.
was my weed shop. It was my weed shop. It was my weed
So,
shop that I worked for.
okay. So she destroyed it.
She took everything, dude. She took my money. They took all of my stuff. They destroyed
Take her
my
to
shop.
court. Take her to court. Cost $39.99 to go to small claims court. You can get up to $5,000. $39.99.
I wish it was that easy. Nah, it's not that easy.
It
It's
is
not
that
that.
easy. If you're in LA, $39.99, and if Judge Judy picks you, she'll pick you if you want, and she'll pay you $5,000 to be on her show.
Yeah,
So that's something up to you. I'm not trying to.
yeah, Chris. Once again, pal, you're a little off base. Not in an offensive way. It's just it's
No,
you
I'm
don't
just saying.
understand.
I okay,
I
okay, yeah,
I
maybe
know, but I get it.
okay.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, dude. You're older than me. You've probably seen a lot of stuff, and I completely understand where you're coming from. I'm just letting you know that this wasn't a $5,000 situation, and it was coordinated. She knew what she was doing. She knew what she was gonna hit, and it was done simply because people who were around her at the time were telling her that that's what she had to do because her
So
skin color.
do you feel that she stole from you? Yes or
She
no?
she did.
Okay, go to court.
Jerry,
Go
are
to
you
court.
comfortable saying about how much money and resources she stole from you, or do you want to keep that private?
I don't know, man. That's one of those things. It's like,
Dude,
uh,
people sue for like $50. I
I don't
I
know.
I watch a Judge Judy, and then again, it's right there by you. It's in LA.
I know.
No,
And
I understand.
no, I'm getting a feeling that it's not 5 grand we're talking about. I'm having a feeling that it's like 50 or 100 grand, but that's just kind of what I'm picking up.
Hey,
well, that's different. But Judge Judy is $50, and they'll pay him $1,500 or $2,000 to just show up on the show, right?
I understand. I heard you.
Yeah,
Nah,
and
that
again,
was.
no,
I,
I'm talking to the other gent right now. And if it is more than that, go to court. Go to court.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I
I can
said, it's
tell you right now, man. I will tell you right now. If you have evidence,
Yeah, it's like I said, man. It's a little bit more complicated than you might think. It's not. It has. I understand what
Yeah.
you're saying, and I get what you. I get exactly what you're saying. And if this was say, it's like a used car lot. If it was like say a regular business, absolutely, I'd do everything that you're saying, and I'd do it, exactly how. But
All right, I broke up. Hello, hello.
I'm still here. Are you there?
I'm here.
Barry?
Did you lose him too?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
We'll wait for him a second here.
yeah.
I can tell
I'm
Jerry's really hurt by this.
I'm not worried about it. I'm just saying his audio dropped. That's all.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about yourself, bruh.
Well, so I live here in Illinois. I've the past 5 years I've been a corrections officer. Before that, I spent about 13 years in the logistics industry. Before that, I was a corrections officer before, and I was a police officer before, and just I'm divorced. I'm 44 years old. I have two teenage sons, ages 14 and 15. I have a 220-pound English Mastiff dog,
Oh
and
my God, really?
oh yeah,
225?
oh yeah, 220,
Can I
225. Yeah, about that.
can I get a picture? Can can I don't know if my links uh allows you to send me a picture. Oh my God. So I am very sad. I had to put my poor Weimaraner down. Um in September. It was the hardest thing I ever had to do. She was here 15 years. I had the people come out to the house that they were going to put her down. They put her down, and then she came back to life, which was awful.
Oh,
Right?
I bet.
She came back to life, was angry, biting. I had to take her mouth, and they had to give her more meds. So, yeah, it's just bad, right? So,
Yeah, that's awful. Yeah, we his name is Frank. We rescued him.
oh my God, I would love pictures of Frank. I would
Yeah,
love pictures. I
yeah,
would.
he's a goofy big dog, and we rescued him about 2 years ago, and that was about 2 months after we had a 14-year-old bull mastiff, female dog named Queen that we had rescued, for when she was
Beautiful,
young.
beautiful.
And she got to the point to where she just could hardly move, walk, miserable life, and that was the hardest thing I had to do was had to take her and put her down, and it was so I can relate. I mean,
And
I
again,
luckily,
I could
uh,
I could deal with the whole putting them down.
except for the coming back to life.
That was sketchy at
what
Yeah,
best.
happened? What happened?
So
Well, how did I fall out?
send me some pictures of your papas.
Am I what?
well,
All right,
he's a small horse.
I'm gonna put my email in the private chat. Is that okay?
Why? What's going on? What
Yep,
happened?
absolutely.
What's happening? What did I miss?
All sorts of
We're talking about my dog.
we're conjuring
Well, both
bad
of our dogs.
we're being bad people.
What happened?
Nothing. Nothing.
You know I can
Nothing.
rewind
Nothing.
this.
Nothing. Nothing. You're good.
No,
Okay.
he had a horrible story about when he had to put his dog down, and the dog actually came back to life and was not
Yeah.
a happy
That
dog after
that's not
Jeez,
uh,
that's how long I was gone.
that.
Wow. I must have hit a time warp. I felt like that was seconds. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm glad I did because I was breaking down like that. I was like, holy shit. I was like, that got heavy.
You okay, bro?
Yeah. I'm still like, struggling with trying to face what happened and stuff like that. I tell people that are close to me that I'm dealing with trust issues because it's like once somebody that you know for 15 years just like crushes you like that, it's like you don't it's like you don't want to like even start again. You don't want to have friends like that anymore. It's like why like they're just gonna like it's like you can't you the thing is that what I hate more than anything about what happened is that like I I shared with her so much and she knew so much about me that like for her to just do something like that, it was like it's like murder basically. You know what I mean? And then I don't want to say it's comparable, but it's like, dude, like you could look me in the eye every day, and we shared so much, and we shared so much with family, and I like I don't want to say that I gave her stuff, but I did. And then like Christmas, birthdays, special moments, watching her kids graduate watching one of her kids graduate from junior high, stuff like that. And then you get to a certain point in life where you're thinking, there's no way somebody who I shared so much with is gonna betray me. But it's like she did it so callously and so coldly that I can't. I don't know who to trust. You know what I mean? Who can you trust at that point? Like if somebody that you've given so much to can just turn around and like stick a knife in your back like that, it's like, it's
Can I,
like,
can I call you my friend?
well, yeah,
Okay. Go to a a, a therapist, right?
sure.
I do that, and again, I hear that sure like I do all that sure. Just do it, man. Really, you got
Oh,
some you got some issues. It's fine. And again, I'm like you, right? I'm Teflon. What the fuck do people have to do with me, right? I'm better than, and I am, right? And I'm stronger than, and I am. But my 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 thing to you is maybe just check, right? Go check a therapist. It's not good for me, not good for you, but it might be better, right? So I'm not gonna try to be better than, right? And
I hear you. I hear you. That makes sense. No, I hear you, brother. I'm not even trying to wave you off on that. That makes a lot of sense. I think we have a very kind of the same kind of like practical mind. So that makes sense to me. I just I I'm I'm trying to be open about it, and I'm trying to deal with it because I've dealt with it in secret. I've not been open about it. I haven't been open about the full experience of the stuff that I've been through. I haven't really told my family and stuff like that because I don't like I don't know how to. Um, I've always dealt with things, and I'm always the one that gets people out of stuff. So it's like it's just strange. It's a strange time for me, but I'm dealing with it. I really am. I want to get out of it like I have in many other situations, and be a better person for it. It's just different. It's different. It's not so clear cut. It's not an experience that I've ever dealt with like all the other things where it's like there's an end, and there's something you can get out of it. It's like I don't know where I'm going with it. I don't. Am I still here? Oh yeah, I am. But Chris has left.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Dad, give me a nod or something.
Can I get a 5x5? Can I get a 5x5? 5x5 in the chat, please. Let's bring our next victim up if she's still wanting to come up here. Talking in art, right?
Yeah. What happened to Chris? Did he just jump out? He said fuck you, Jerry. And he took off.
I don't know. Maybe there's a drive-by, going by somewhere. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I do appreciate you, Chris. If you're still out there, if you're still in the chat or whatever, I do appreciate everything you said. I heard it. I wasn't waving you off. It's just this is the first time I've been open to a group of people about it. I've only talked with certain people about it, like privacy. But it's not. I shouldn't be private about it because I didn't do anything wrong in the situation, and I really should talk about it more. I just it's been difficult. It's been difficult because I felt stupid about it. And Jimbo, you were on point. Like as far as trusting myself and my judgment, it's like it's something it's very difficult because it's like I don't know if I do have good judgment. You know
Well,
what I
and
mean?
it's normal to think like that though, Jerry, because as men, we're supposed to be, we're ingrained and we're supposed to be the nail, right? Like nothing's supposed to phase us. We're not supposed to be wimps or anything like that. And I tell you what, in corrections or law enforcement or in the military or whatever, there's been more of an acceptance by especially men to be able to go and talk to therapists. And I tell you what, starting a couple of years ago, I started going through some dark paths, nothing major, but you see a lot of really bad shit in corrections. And it helped me out a lot to where I said at one point, hey, I need to go talk to somebody. And it made me feel tons better. But I get it, man. I get that struggle. Of course, I can't relate to your exact situation. Your situation is completely different from mine. So I don't want to even start to say that I can understand or know what you're going through because I don't. Your life experience is totally different. But I'm just saying that, in my experience, that, being able to talk to somebody, if you're able to get to that point or willing to, man, it did wonders for me. And I know it does wonders for a lot of people. So I'm here for you, brother. You know I am.
Oh yeah, of course. And uh, when it comes down to it, this is what I've needed. Like I said, I started off the show talking about how I was in a busy life with a lot of people and stuff like that. And I mean, like I've told this to people, and something a lot of people don't know. Artie's corporate fiction. Artie himself was a very good friend to me when I was at my lowest points during this time, and I kind of like I would tell him, like, I kind of relate to you because I understand what it's like when you got people pulling you one way and you got people pulling you another way, because I had that, I had that at a time when it was like people wanted me here, people wanted me there, and it's like you can't just take a little bit of time for yourself. And I took it for granted those moments when I could have just, actually breathed, and, like, instead of just catering to everybody and stuff. um but but I also crave that social life too. It's crazy because it's like you get used to having people around you, and then when there's nobody around you, it's so quiet. It's like it's
No, I get it. I get it. But in my experience, and this is just my experience, that if you're not able to talk to anybody about it, even if it's just a friend or whatever over the phone and be able to talk it out, man, that shit eats you alive. It does, man. And so I feel bad that you're going through that, and I'm glad you were able to discuss a little bit tonight. And my phone's always open to you, man. You know that.
uh, I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate what everybody has you know told me and stuff like that. But I'm glad that I'm able to find a group of people that I can talk to about it, and I feel that, like, it's helped me because, um like I said, that I sometimes I do get in my head about things, and like I'll react in a certain way that people don't understand. They won't, because it's like like I can come off as relatable, and at the same time it's like it's weird that, like, somebody who can relate to a lot of things, and like, be cool with certain things, and be all of a sudden just like, not be that person. And it's like it's something new. It's something new. And Chris was right. I do have to go see a therapist about it, professional about it.
Yeah.
But it does feel really good that I'm able to open up about it, say something about it. I don't I don't want to make this a thing where like I'm always talking about this or making it about this. But I thought it was important. I thought it was important. If you guys wanted to know something about me that's going on right now and shaping my life as of the present, this is something very important to me. So uh, yeah.
We got you, Jerry. We got you. All right, bring
so
up
so
Talking
let's
in
do the
Art.
yeah
She's back there. Yeah.
yeah.
Get up here, girl. There she
There she
is.
is.
Happy to be here.
How you
Hi.
doing?
Doing fantastic. How's everyone else doing?
Good. So, in full disclosure, I have talked to her before. We've had a lengthy conversation. She's a lovely person. She does amazing graphics work. So, if any of you ever need graphics works, she's a little overwhelmed right now with all the stuff she has going on, but she may be able to fit you in. Ask her for the friends and family discount. Maybe she can hook you up. But she did an amazing graphic for my YouTube page. So, I want to disclose that. I can't speak highly enough of her. She's just an amazing, sweet person, and she has for her age, she has a very, very, very gifted future in front of her. And I can't speak highly enough of her. So,
Well, thank you so much, Corrections. And like I said earlier, thank you for having me on. I wanted to discuss mental health whenever it comes to frauditors. We've got people like Chili and people like Broken System, Broken Trust, and I have to ask, what led these people to be like this? What led them down this path, this road?
well,
Um,
in my opinion, it has nothing to do with the First Amendment. It's all about being just anti. They hate police. They hate the government. They hate any anti-authority. And then you look at these people; they're very unexceptional people. And I don't mean that in a disparaging way. That you have to have some massive college degree or major job title to be an exceptional person. To me, an exceptional person is someone who cares about people around them. They care about the community. They take care of their children. They take care of their responsibilities. But you go down that line with these people, and they don't take care of their responsibilities. They don't take care of child support. They're not in their children's lives. They have extensive criminal records to where they just keep committing over and over and over and over and over. And it's just all about what's their end goal that they always state. It's like get rid of the police, get rid of the government, and hey, we're going to flex on this 80-year-old grandma who's a secretary who has no idea what's going on. It's just that feeling of power to me, to where that's what it's about. It's about power. It's about flexing on somebody because they don't have anything meaningful in their life. But that's just me.
You see, and that's exactly what I was getting at. Here in my notes, I have the word power written down. And I wanted to focus in on that because I feel like it's not necessarily having that power, it's that want, it's that need, it's the missing of power in their life. I think they need to figure out how to achieve that goal. And right now, they're working towards goals, but
a hundred
it's
percent
all
agree.
in. Yeah, exactly. Um, and Jerry, I wanted to ask you about how exactly this develops whenever they get to places well, you said yourself you were you went to I don't know if it was jail or prison. Sorry. um
Jail.
okay, so yeah, you went to jail. You've met several of these people who may have even been developing this idea of frauditing, and I'm wondering how exactly, how does this develop whenever it gets to jail? How does it become worsened? How does these thought
Well,
patterns become more embraced, or,
in jail, it could be in a moment of survival because in jail, of course, everything runs in a hierarchy, and it's very high schoolish if you think about it. The people who are the strongest, who are the most scary looking, are gonna be the ones with the power, And if you don't have that, if you're somebody who's like Chili, a little guy, or older gentleman who can't really sustain himself inside of a prison or jail, it's about survival. So what you're gonna do is that you're gonna see the things that these men respect, and a lot of these. It's funny because a lot of them do respect their lawyer. A lot of them do respect the guys that are getting them through the process. So if you have that, if you can mimic that that intelligence that is shown, um, it goes a long way because usually the those harder criminals don't aren't intelligent. I'm not saying that some of them like didn't do things that were intelligent or that they can't be. It's just that most of them, and especially the ones that are in there for the gang related stuff, they're already cultish in the way that they think. They're already in that kind of mentality. So if you have an idea of how a lawyer speaks, you have an idea of how legally sound and stuff like that, and you can put them together in a way that can get the attention or get the mind of this guy that could just beat you up and take everything that you have, you're going to use it. And so I believe it starts off as survival, right? But of course, in the course of any criminal mind, which is a opportunist, right? Once they see they're able to con somebody like, say, a dangerous person, they have no qualms on taking advantage of somebody that's weaker than them, right? Because it's like, if I can do it to this guy who's a big guy who could crush me, and this other person who I don't have to worry about them crushing me, I'm more than likely than just to bring it out on them because they're not going to do nothing to me. They're not going to hurt me, and that's ultimately what they see. They see an opportunity to take advantage, and they take it, of course. And that's the mindset of a criminal. A criminal does not earn his things. He waits for the right opportunity to take them, and I believe that's usually where it starts from. The other stuff, the arrogance, the like the feeling that they are important, the self importance, I think comes from the groupies, the audience, the thinking that they've actually created something. But that's a delusion, and that's within the individual. Uh, some of them don't feel that way. Some of them feel that they are still criminals, and some of them feel like they did something wrong and they change.
You see, and then that brings me to my next point here. Um, with the path these people are going down on, is it ever too late to change? Could they, find a different path to take? Or are they stuck inevitably waiting for the moment that everything collapses around them and everything breaks apart?
Well,
You would take
you
that,
want
Jerry?
I honestly, we've seen examples of people that can change, right? We know guys that did it and don't do it anymore. I think Mark Stout would be the I guess the main example of somebody who was like who did it for a good amount of time, dealt with anti-frauditor community people, and decided that he no longer wanted to do that, but he actually and the crazy thing is that when he first switched over, and they had the big live stream, and I remember this because I was there uh, when they were saying it. I did not believe him. I didn't. I I I, I doubted him. I actually told Kick in a DM that I thought that he was. I thought he was full of shit, and I told Kick that, and I told him that I believe what he wants is he wants an audience that's going to be loyal. He wants an audience that's gonna give him what the anti-frauditors had, which were good audiences that were loyal, that would donate and that would be there for him. I told him I think that's what he wants. I don't think that he cares about what he's talking about. And so Kick, in his uh, way of making me understand stuff, because I actually give Kick a lot of credit for helping me stay along with this community. He told me, you know what? If you think that, keep an eye out for him. Like watch his stuff. If you think that it's bad, just watch it. Like if there's something that you think is actually going on that he has some sort of ulterior motive, let me know, and we'll see what we can break down to see if he's actually doing whatever. And I watched him, and I watched his stuff. I watched him talk about Reyes. I watched him talk about all the different fighters and stuff like that. And he won me over. He won me over because he wasn't just like, oh yeah, like it's about the audience. Because if that was the case, there's a lot of things he would have done differently. But I see the way he is, and I'm like, this guy really does care. He really does care about what he was doing. He is ashamed of it. When you see him talk about his audits that he did before, you can feel the actual shame that he has to show people that he's talking, that like that he has to bring it up. He doesn't like to, and I think that's very telling. That somebody can figure out that that's not a good life to live and to switch.
Well, it's
I
like
think
they
that's
say. It's like
huh?
they say, actions speak louder than words.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and you've shown that here. I don't know if they've really the person you were talking about, if they actually showed videos. I don't know if you could see body language to show if
Oh
they were
yeah,
disgusting,
yeah.
but you could see you can
If
even
you,
tell from voice.
yeah, no. I don't. I mean, I try to get across things with my voice. I try to talk a lot. But that's just me. But Mark, if you go to his live stream, he's very animated. You see his face. You see the way he is. And like I said, when I first when he first switched over, I took that as somebody who was acting, or I was really like doubtful that he would change. But at this point, I had only seen the worst of the worst, right? I had only seen Glenn and stupid Asomo, and so I had no. I have a distaste for the fighters that are around. I really do. So it's very difficult for somebody to tell me that they're a fraud and then just be like, "Oh yeah, I changed." It's especially when you deal with like their supporters, because the supporters are the same way. They'll come in and they'll be like, "Oh, you guys don't treat us fairly" and things like that, right? But then they want to try to like troll us supposedly, or get into our feelings by like saying stupid things in the chats. Now, I don't care. I could people can insult me all day. It's not going to bother me. Those things don't bother me. The thing that I hate is that it becomes attention for them, and that's what they crave, right? They crave the attention, they crave the power. Like now everybody's looking at me, and so that's why I don't like dealing with that way. But this guy Mark, when I saw when I started seeing his lives as they developed and they developed and they developed, I saw somebody who took it seriously that he switched, and he is not just has a pride of it. He wants to completely wash his hands from what the things that he did. So you could see whenever he brings up when he has to bring up his audits, because he will bring them up as an example of things that the frauditors do that they try to hide, because he's exposing them because he was one, so he's showing their lies, and he's ashamed to bring them up. You can see it. You
Oh,
can see it.
he's definitely embarrassed by it. 100%.
Yeah. Now he does have kind of like a different demeanor about him, because he obviously came from a different part of a culture. Like I kind of understand it. People laugh at his like his thing that he says G check, right? They try to make it out to be something childish or something like that. But where I come from, this like an area or areas that like he kind of came from and stuff like that, where people talk about that kind of stuff. And G check is not something that's like, oh, that the little kids talk about. It's like when you get checked by somebody that's older than you, you call it. That's what you called it. You called it the G check, because it's like your older senior told you something and you got checked for it. It didn't necessarily mean that, oh, some sort of clowning situation. It was like you could be checked by an older person that was respectable. But of course, the older version of saying it was OG check, right? But you're not going to be saying OG check all the time. It's just shortened up. But I get it. I get where he comes from. He has a lot of respect for the people that he talks about, and he gained more respect for the people that he talks about by going through the little battles that he went through. I think he gained a lot of respect for Shorter's Cat, for Kick, for all the people that were going up against him, because he realized these people put in work for the things they do, and it's just like me. I gained a lot of respect for lawyers and other people, because I realized that it's not something that you don't just become a lawyer overnight. You don't interpret the law just because you can read it. these things are difficult to do, and these people work hard to do it, and they've earned those things. You can't just take it away because you want to wave some sort of magical wand and think that you know better than them. And it's like that's the part. That's the part to me. That's the most important part about all of this is that yeah, you can go ahead and think that you know everything or whatever, but to say that you know more than somebody who worked years and years and years at the craft is like that level of disrespect I can't deal with. But that's I don't know if I got out of your subject matter art. That's just
Oh
something
no,
I
you
wanted
did
to say.
great. It's like you said, it's an uphill battle. You have to face it. You have to grow. You have to prove to these people that no, you are not this person that you used to be, and you have to show it. You cannot tell it. Otherwise, you're going to fall back into those patterns, and people aren't gonna believe you. It's I find it weird that I bring up show don't tell. It's something that we all talk about in like media. Whenever you're developing a piece of media, it's show don't tell. You want to show that these characters are feeling a certain emotion. You don't want to be go to the audience and say, "Hey, this character is feeling this way." That's not going to make your story believable.
Right? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and I feel it applies in real life too. I definitely think it's weird how you can take little bits and pieces of things and apply it to the real world and see what sticks.
Right.
Yeah.
Just a couple things real quick. Just got notified by Fraudita Reaper that she's fine. She is home now. So good for her.
Oh, awesome!
Yes, good for her. So the other thing I wanted to kind of try to answer your questions too. Is it ever too late to change? No. I mean, we've seen examples of that, and I think on a marginal level, we'll see that continue with certain individuals. One of the great things with my master studies right now, I only focus on, anti-government, anti-extremist individuals and groups, when it comes to First Amendment auditors, SovCit, Moors, Antifa. It doesn't matter what, extremist aisle they come from. They're both on the left and the right. And a lot of, I tend to be more conservative. And most of these guys claim to be conservative, and I go after them. But one of the great things that I've been able to do, in my master's thesis, is to be able to team up with graduate students in a psychology department that are working on their masters or doctorates, and we're working up psychological profiles because they are much better than, much more knowledgeable than me with being able, with their studies in psychology to be able to build up a profile on why they commit crime. And it almost goes into my undergraduate degree. One of my favorite subjects to study in my undergrad degree was criminology. What makes people commit crime? What factors make people commit crime? Can you build a profile? And that was always really fascinating to me because you can take certain statistics and you have a certain certainty to where if these certain factors go against them, they are more capable of committing crime or more apt to committing crime, due to socioeconomic conditions and other factors. But that's a really interesting thing over the next year that we're going to be able to see. But the one thing that I've been able to see is it's like, okay, what are the true intentions of what they're going through right now? Is it their love of the First Amendment, or is it an anti-government, anti-police, anti-authority thing that they're going through? And if so, is it getting better or is it getting worse? And how is that showing itself? So what are we seeing with First Amendment auditors right now? Are they getting better? Or are they getting more aggressive? And I think everybody can agree that they're getting more aggressive, and more aggressive. Their tactics. keep getting more aggressive to the point to where it's just getting downright dangerous. And so I really do think that and this is just me just words are hard right now, juxtaposing right now, that I really do think that the studies will show here in the next year or two, that this has nothing to do with the First Amendment. It's all about being anti-government, anti-police, anti-authority, and that it's an underlying condition of the need for the power, the need to push against the government, and using their First Amendment as a shield. And these people, it's never about transparency. It's just really frustrating. Uh, it's just really frustrating with these people right now, because it's never about getting down to brass tacks. It's never getting down to, okay, for an example, I'm sorry, kind of scatterbrained right now. So let me give you an example. They do all these FOIA requests. How many times do they put these FOIA requests out in their stories? Never. How many times do they put in requests for salaries, for personnel records, and they post that stuff? Never. I mean, it's all about authority. It's about flexing on them, and it's just about flexing authority on them. And so when you get down to, I believe, when you get down to the fundamentals of it, it's all about just being anti-government and anti-authority and flexing on people and using the First Amendment as a shield. And if that's the core of their beliefs, and they're getting more and more extreme about it through their actions and through how they do their duties, I really do think that for a majority of them, that they're going to crash and burn before anything else, before they change their ways. Just my opinion.
It's a cult of personality. These people build up on each other, and we were just talking about this in the Frauditor Troll Discord. How a lot of these people suffer the same exact psychological profiles of bullies. They have this empty feeling that needs to be replaced with something, be it drugs or in this case, maybe it's First Amendment auditing. It's
Absolutely. Yeah, if I could, real quick, and this, I'm glad that you said this, Jess. Because a lot of people think that I'm not for dissenting opinions, or people having a different view as far as what I think. I absolutely agree that that's a way you can look at it, and I will tell you that the only thing I can tell you that makes me feel that he's different is the embarrassment of him talking about his old audits. If you see that, I think it will really change your mind as far as how you feel about that. But I'm not saying that it will completely or 100%. That's what it will do for you. It did it for me, because when I saw him talking about his old audits, I know shame. I know shame because I lived shame. Going to jail is not something I was proud of. Talking about it, I'm not proud of it. But I do it because I don't want people like Chili to cloud what those things actually are. I wish I never had to, but as long as there's people like him out there talking about torture cuffs and that the cops are tyrants and they do this and that, I have to speak on my experience, because I don't want people to believe that that's what's going on. So I'm not proud of it. I wish I never had to, but I know shame. Um, and I absolutely see it when he talks about his audits, and I could see the disdain that he has for the people that still do it. But that's all opinion. That's all opinion, and you can go ahead and look for yourself. And I would say, if you really want to see for yourself, check out one of his lives. I absolutely recommend it. And that's all
Yeah,
I'll say.
yeah, yeah. And just to build on that, I agree with you. Jess, yeah, I get what you're saying, and I don't fault you. I don't fault you at all for saying that. Um, Mark, he's a colorful character. I mean, he really is. I enjoy him as a content creator. Um, I do watch his stuff. I think that I really do think he's embarrassed about his frauditing stuff. But at the same time, I think there's times where he gets way out over his skis. I think he, says stuff that he isn't 100% accurate about. But at the same time, if I had to follow anybody on YouTube that I agreed with 100% of the time, I would follow nobody. And so I think there's these little bits and pieces that I try to follow with a lot of people I follow on YouTube. And, I may agree with a lot of what they do, may disagree with a lot of what they do, but, I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. And, and if they burn me a second time, then, I won't follow. But I certainly appreciate that comment. And I can't fault you at all for, that comment. You have a very valid point.
I wanted to bring
Yeah.
up this right here. Still don't believe him because the old him still keeps resurfacing. Um, this goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Whenever it comes to these people, almost being like drug addicts, addicted to this kind of thing, or
Mhm.
kind of like alcoholism. You see these patterns where it's very easy to fall back into that idea, that ideal of the things you want to get across. And I think as long as Mark is recognizing these patterns, or at least if it's been brought up to Mark and he's listening, I think we're still on a good path. If he's refusing to listen, I'd say that'd be cause for concern.
Yeah, and like I said, I absolutely love her pushback on my opinion on Mark. I absolutely love it because that's that's the type of pushback that I look for when I want to, you know, uh, put myself in a critical, situation where I think about it. Because as far as
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
as far as Mark is concerned, I'll never know what's going on in his head. But what I do know is that there's a relatability between me and him, because as he was an anti-frauditor, I mean a frauditor, and now he's an anti-frauditor. I was a criminal, and I don't wish to have that label on me, but that's what I did. That I made that mistake. And so maybe in the same way that I feel like I've changed, I hope that he has. Um, but that's where that relatability comes in, where I believe him. But doesn't mean that her points ain't valid, and it makes me look at my own judgment more critically. Makes me look at myself more critically, because I don't want to look like somebody who's going to fall back either.
Exactly.
Um, so yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with that opinion, and let's just and just to preface everything, even if it's not completely honest, his switching over, I'm glad that he switched over. I much rather have this Mark than the old Mark. That's I would say that's a win. Um, just for the people that were being attacked before. So that's all I gotta say as far as him switching over. I'd rather him be disingenuine Mark anti-frauditor than disingenuine frauditor as a whole. But that's it. That we don't have to talk about Mark anymore. That's all I wanted to say.
No, I just wanted to add, hey Jess, I really appreciate your comments because I enjoy critical thinking. I want to be challenged. And if you have a different viewpoint, please get it because that makes me question and evaluate my look on things. And I enjoy that because I don't want to be stuck in Chili world or First Amendment auditor world to where it's like, okay, we're in group think now. Everybody has to think the same. I want to be challenged, and if my opinion is wrong, I'm willing to reevaluate it and come to a different conclusion. So I appreciate a different point of view, and I'm certainly never going to hold that against you. So
Exactly, and it makes the stream more interesting. I
it
may
does.
voice the guest on this panel, but all of us in the chat, we're all the guest on here, and I think having these different views in there, being able to share them, being able to talk about them, that's what makes live streaming such an amazing thing, especially for content creators, because we get
I
to
love it.
share.
That's the thing is that like see I love that Jess brought that up, and I love that we were able to discuss it the way we discussed it, because there's so many little examples about how people think an engagement is supposed to go down. They believe that, oh, there's a dissenting opinion, oh, I don't want to hear it, you know what I mean? It's like, because I kick out frauditors that come in here like Rogue Nation, because they're disingenuous. He comes in here not to have a debate, not to talk about this dissenting opinions. He comes here to put his point and just have us pay attention to what he's saying. He doesn't want to hear other opinions, and he doesn't want to change his view or even acknowledge that there's a possible way that you could look at things the other way. He puts himself as the point of authority, and he claims to know everything. So that's why I don't deal with him, and that's why I push him out, because it's like, and the other thing too is that it's not like we haven't been in debates with these guys. It's not like we haven't had them across the table and we haven't had sit down debates. I've had literal sit down debates with some of these guys, and they just don't want to have any kind of actual factual things put out there. They want to be disingenuous. They want to lie. As the great Schrodinger's cat put it, you have to lie to fraud it, and just they're just liars, and I'll never deal with them in a equal basis, because they don't ever come in an equal basis. They'll always come disingenuous. So when I kick out frauditors, that doesn't mean that I don't want dissenting opinions, and I'm not here to have an echo chamber. I just don't want to deal with somebody who's not going to be honest about what they are.
Kind of off topic, but I wanted to bring up something earlier when Corrections was discussing the fact that he's able to go to psychology graduates. What we have right here with the internet, we have this tool that allows us to actively see these people. We can read them better. We have video. We have all these different things that we can use these tools. And I'd be interested to hear Corrections talk about this, because whenever it comes to frauditing, the fact that we have YouTube, their videos, their live streams, all that sort of stuff, it's a treasure trove for criminal psychology, for people who are looking into criminology. It's just amazing what you can find.
No, you're exactly right, and that's one of the things that they're combing through right now. Um, you know, I'm not going to pretend to know psychology. Did I take some psychology stuff? Yes. But in your undergrad stuff, that's usually kind of a 200 course or 100 course, and you get around the edges of it, and you do fine, and everything's good,
Were you
and
about to
hopefully
yeet?
you do well. What's that?
I said, were you about to yeet?
No, yeet, 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 yeet. Like, hit that like button. Hit that like button.
I'm
No,
sorry. I just wanted to bring some levity. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no. And so, I give all this information to them. And look, I'm not a psychology person. I'm not going to pretend to be. That's why I recruited them to give them all this information. And over the next year or so, while I'm finishing out my master's, they can come to their own conclusion without me being involved. And we can put it all together and hopefully have some, great package put together. But, It'll be interesting to see what they think. I have my personal opinions. I think I have my personal opinions of what they will conclude. Could be totally wrong. Could be totally right. Who knows? But it's gonna be fascinating.
That's amazing to hear. The final thing I wanted to bring up before I left for the night is a sad little bully known as Rogue Nation.
Uh,
So, this is the first frauditor that I have ever had any experience with, and it's been a fascinating look into psychology for me because I've tried to build up an understanding of what makes a frauditor based on what I've seen Rogue do, based on how I've seen him act in our chats, based on videos that I've seen covered by Frauditor Troll, and it's helped me see that that well, how I said earlier, this idea that he keeps on bringing up, oh well, I have this, oh I have this, I have this, I have this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and he doesn't like ever stop. He's always hungry for more, and it's absolutely crazy to think that somebody could go off like this.
yeah, that VA audit was absolutely disgusting. Um, that had nothing to do with the First Amendment audit. I was beyond angry. Um, he sat there and recorded, that poor veteran in a wheelchair getting in probably end of life, uh, medical uh, service. And then he followed that one guy around. They stalked him around the whole hospital, thinking that he was an employee. When he wasn't an employee, he was a VA vet there seeking coverage. But heaven forbid, he saw something that was weird, took a picture of him, and they turned into a pack of freaking hyenas. Um, it was disgusting. It was, I never served in the military, but, I've been pretty open about it. I have a brother that's currently a gunnery sergeant in the Marine Corps. I have another brother he was infantry in the Marine Corps. I have another brother that was an Air Force drone pilot. I have a grandfather that was a Purple Heart recipient in the Second World War. I have an uncle that was in the Navy during the Vietnam War. I have another uncle that was in the Navy, not during wartime, but so I have a lot of family members that were, served honorably, and to think that any of these guys could be my family members being filmed and made fun of and being harassed, after serving their country, going there to receive not only life injuries, but mental injuries too, based off of what they saw, was absolutely disgusting. And for Rogue Nation to trivialize that like it was a big joke the whole time he was there was absolutely disgusting.
Exactly, and it just as I said, he's a bully, and he did all of this specifically to get at people like you, to get at people like Michael K or Frauder Wrangler.
Right.
um, and he does this just because uh, he wants to get people angry. He literally is just a bully, and I hope that maybe one day he'll realize what path he's going down. I doubt it, but like
You
I
know what?
said, never say never.
You know what? The thing about Rogue that I've noticed, and this is the part. This is the part that where I have a lot of disdain from is that I think he knows, and I think he knows the game that he's playing, and I think he likes it. Not only does he like it, but he relishes in it. He 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 uh he likes the fact that he riles people up, and he likes the fact that he's making money off of it. Um, I remember one of the first debates I had with him because I've had this debate with a lot of frauders, and usually I corner them. I'll tell them that in order to have a debate that's honest, we cannot speak like we can interpret the law. And it's one of my debate tactics when I went up against these guys because they like to say that they know the law. So I tell them we cannot interpret the law because we've never taken a law class, so we don't know how to interpret the law. So we can't speak on the law like if we know it because we can't interpret it. Of course, they make their arguments, but I always tell them the same thing. You can count and you can add and you can subtract. It doesn't make you a mathematician. So we can agree that there's no level that we can be at that a lawyer can be at. So we have to debate as we don't know. And so usually all of them will, even after fighting for a long time, will say, yeah. And those are the ones that I think are playing up to the script and don't know where to go. So they'll just give up and say, okay, fine, I'm doing this because I want to keep on my YouTube channel or whatever. Bro, he knows where I'm going. So he just says, I know the law. And he says, I know the law. I know the law. I know the law. And I think to myself, like, you know that I'm gonna corner you. It's like when you're playing checkers with somebody and you know that they know that there's no way they're gonna win because everything's like stalemated or whatever. If they make one move, then you're gonna take their most of their chips or whatever, like or you know what I mean. It's stalemated, but he won't make the next move because he doesn't want to get stuck. And so when I see that happening, it makes me believe that you know everything that you're doing, and he knows the position that he's in, and he loves it. He enjoys it because he gets attention for it. And I think that's what it comes down to. It just comes down to that relishing of having people either disdain him or like him. For the people that like him because he's a hero to them because he does bully people, he loves it. For the people that hate him, he loves it too because he likes the attention. That's why he goes into people like Hezekiah's channel because Hezekiah is such a sweet guy. He wants so much to see the humanity in people, and people like Rogue Nation will take advantage of that because he can say a couple things and Hez will let him back in, and that's sad because Hezekiah is actually doing something genuine. He wants to bring him in to show him something. Hezekiah gets angry, he gets crazy because he actually has a passion for the people that are behind this stuff. Rogue does not care about anybody but himself, and he's
Right.
go ahead.
No, you're exactly right. I mean, it comes down to that whole power thing again, and being an unexceptional person. I mean, what are his accomplishments? I mean, he lives in a double wide, and I don't mean that in a negative way to someone who has to live in a double wide. But I mean, there's nothing positive about him. I mean, there's not. He's unaccomplished. He's a felon, and he keeps committing more felonies. He's getting ready to go on another felony trial, and it's all about power. And you know, he goes to that VA. What's your what's your badge number? Who are you? What's your name? We demand your name, and we're gonna follow you through this maze of the whole hospital. What's your name? What's your name? We're gonna call you Bob. If you're not gonna identify identify yourself, you're gonna be Bob. You're gonna be Bob. We want Bob's name. Over and over and over, and it's ridiculous, and it's all about the power. And we're gonna show you. We're gonna harass you. We don't care who you are. Oh, turns out you weren't an employee. You're here, getting medical help. You actually served our country. George never did, but that's what it's all about. It's all about the clicks, views, money, power. He gets off on that.
Okay, so Jess asks, can I change the subject for 1 second? Who needs a battery? I will mail you batteries.
That would be me.
Corrections
Are you
needs some
are
batteries.
are you talking about the smoke the smoke alarm?
People can't stand that smoke alarm sound, right? Because every time I'm in the chat, there's two things people complain about a lot, and that's the dreaded echo and that sound from the alarms. Those are the two things people complain about the most when it comes to streams. Every streams that I've been to, it's like either the echo or the smoke detector that won't stop going off.
Yeah, that would be me. Yeah, been meaning to do that, but just chirped again. So whatever.
And thank you
Just
all for discussing that final topic. I wanted to put that out there because what more does someone dislike than the truth? And having to
yeah,
face that truth in a place where they can't speak out against it, they can't, they can't come in here and start up shit. They have to face it. There is no this, no that.
yeah, yeah. That's I I can't say enough how what I want what I want so much. If I can do anything, if I can do anything for this community, my goal would be to just strengthen it. I so much want to like share the tools that I have that lets me see through most of these guys, and I could see through them. Like I really can. Like it's not magic. It's just I know so many people like them that don't do what they do, but they do it in other ways. And so it I want to give people the tools to be able to see through that and to understand true what somebody truly feels. Belief because like I've always told people, some sovereign citizens, although crazy and dangerous, can absolutely believe in what they're doing because they will sit there and let their window be broken and be taken out because they believe so much in what they're doing. Frauders know not to get arrested because they're not trying to take a charge. They try to get away. At some point, they're gonna learn that they don't have to wait around for the cops or something. You know what I mean? They'll make it to the point where it's like they're just gonna go mess with people that don't have the power to arrest them and walk away. Because they know all they need is the engagement. All they need is the person to start up something. They can call them a Karen. They can say how crazy they are and stuff like that, and their audience is gonna laugh at them. And it's sick and sad, but that's what it's getting to because they know that the cops are getting on them. But what I want to do is empower the people that are out there is to tell them, you don't have to sit there and listen to what they're saying. You don't have to worry about losing your job. We understand what they are. You know, you can treat them a certain way. You can act a certain way. You don't have to deal with that. And I would say that would be the best thing for everybody is for us to have an understanding of what they are and to be able to push back on them without having to get irritated, without having to, you know, do something that we're going to get criminalized for.
And it all starts with speaking out. And I think this little show that we have here, that we have the chat that we all take part in. I think stuff like this is great. What Frauditor Reaper does, what Frauditor Troll does, um, what I've seen Tones do a few times. Stuff like this is great because it brings us together as a community and it builds exactly what you're talking about. We're sharing those tools with each other. We are getting the word out there that these people are doing these horrible things, and we can start creating like laws and things to help with that, so we don't have to have a repeat of what happened with Blackhawk. Corrections, I know you're very well aware of that.
Oh,
Correction?
yes. Yep, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. Are you are you preparing documents?
Who, me?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to talk about what Blackhawk was. Blackhawk.
Yeah.
What about Blackhawk? I'm sorry. I'm going to be honest for a second there. I had to put it on mute and had to take a leak. I'm sorry.
Okay.
TMI, but thank you for the honesty. It only
I'm
took.
just being honest,
Honesty is the best policy. Don't you know that, Jerry?
right?
I will appreciate honesty over anything else. I rather hear the truth than be in mystery. But it only took us the 2 hours and 55 minutes in for it to become a shit show, and I'm proud of
That's right.
that.
Reaper will
Well,
be
guys,
proud.
I think we're on our guy corrections over here taking a leak. We're gonna call it a night. I think we should all go a stretch and take our leaks and have a night. Thank you so
Yeah, and
much,
just
Art.
and before we go, talking art, I'm telling you, she's only 19 years old. How exceptional is she? I mean, you compare this kind of interview that she just did compared to frauditors who are 50 years old. I mean, this girl she has a bright future. So
She does. She
Well,
does
thank
give me young people like you give me hope for humanity, and I was losing it for a minute there, but I thank you for bringing me back. uh, you and the people in this chat are the people that I do things for. Like I told Rogue the first night he came on our first show and wanted to laugh at us because we only had two people. I'm not here to get 100, 200, 300 people here. I'm here to get people who are smart, want to listen to what we're talking about, and actually want to affect something. And if it's one person, if it's one judge sitting, somewhere, like in his vacation, and he decided to click on my video and he's like, yeah, that's what I want to do, and he starts changing stuff, fine with me. That if that's all it took. But this is important for me. Like to bring out these opinions and talk about this stuff is important to me, and I absolutely love so far everybody that's gathered around here, and I hope that we can do something. That would be the my goal, that something changes because we were having these conversations.
absolutely.
It was a fantastic night, and thank you all for having me again. And here's to many more show. The Bad Guy Friday Night Riots.
Thank you.
She's good. She's really
She's too
good.
good. She's too
And
good.
I'm telling you.
We're gonna we're gonna so there's gonna be sometime like in like 2-3 years from now, we're gonna be down there in the chat and you're gonna be up here, just talking to us.
Hey,
Yes.
someday, definitely.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years from now, she's going to have 10 times more subs than us because it's ridiculous. But
Aw, don't say that.
It doesn't
no,
matter.
hopefully you do.
I
I want the
I
best for
would.
you. I mean, you're just so smart. I mean, oh goodness, I wish.
I'll,
I,
t- I'll, t-
when I was a
I'll tell you.
19-year-old, I was a freaking idiot. And so for you to have this wisdom and, and everything, goodness gracious, your whole life is ahead of you. So good luck.
I'll tell you the one thing that the frauding community will never have is support for themselves. They always want to be on top of each other. They're always gonna say, oh, like I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best. When you're in a good community, when everybody wants to lift everybody else up, and I would be, if you had more subs than me, whatever, I would never be jealous of that. I would love it.
Absolutely.
I would celebrate it because somebody like you who's smart, should have more subs, and you should be a shooting star. I absolutely, um, I'm very happy that I got to meet you. You're a bright spot for the future. I'm that's I can't say anymore.
Yep.
Blame y'all.
Let's end it on that good note.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Have a great day, everybody.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna close it out. Thank you so much, guys, for being here with me. I didn't expect to have even 3 people. I had 8 people consistently, and I absolutely loved it. You guys were great. Jess, thank you so much for the dissenting opinion. I love the way you brought it up, and I like that we were able to discuss it and bring out our opinions, corrections. Always a great co-host. Always, I love the support. I love the support that you give me. It makes me feel good. Makes me easy and confident. And thank you for letting me meet all these beautiful people. You guys are great, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. We could have another good discussion.
Later, all. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye.